we go. Good morning, Jonathan Keith. I'm not a bot. No, baby, I'm Keith Bellis here at Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, and welcome to another. Oh, baby, there we go. Yeah. All right, welcome to another punchy episode of Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, and no, baby, I'm not drunk. Not drunk today. I'm drunk on adrenaline and dopamine, making my face red this morning. Buckle up today, guys, because we got the world's strongest man crushing NFL Combine records. A surprisingly simple back to diffuse workplace tension. And we're diving headfirst into post-apocalyptic food science. Good morning, Holroyd. Good morning, Holroyd. Good morning, Adam Holroyd. Joining me first thing this morning, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. We got Chad Rawlings. Is it, Jimmy, is this the guy from the football company? Does Rawlings make footballs? Wasn't Rawlings like the football company? He's dropping by with the AI secrets that skyrocketed his sales from $3 million to $100 million bucks. Wow. 3 million, 100 million, well, a little bit of a gap there. We're going to uncover dopamine's sneaky role in your anxiety with AJ Zeglin coming up in Mind Fuel later on today. And I'm going to share some sleep habit tweaks that happened on my journey of starting the world's greatest morning show for men. Yes, boys, we're here about morning momentum. Reasons to get your ass out of bed, reasons to not hit the snooze button. Hey, snoozing's a problem. We're here to solve it. Yeah. If you hit that snooze button, you're going to be 9 minutes behind the guy who doesn't. Do you want to be 9 minutes behind? Do you want to be 9 minutes behind the guy who doesn't? Are you a shepherd or are you sheep? Ask yourself that question. You start your day today. Shepherd or sheep, hit the snooze button or not hit the snooze button, getting after it, not getting after it. And just reminding guys, this is an R-rated experience. So put the kids in another room. Lock the door. Tell them Uncle Keith said, hey, kids. These guys drop some F-bombs. Yeah. Johnny likes to drop the F-bomb every now and then. You guys notice Johnny's taking a little bit of time this morning. I think he has his earphones in. I think the water is running Jimmy in the bidet. Johnny will be here today. Marty will be here today. We got Chad Rawlings here today. We got Bradley Sherman here today. We got Nicole Bernard here today. We got AJ Zeglin here today. We got the whole gang showing up on another edition of Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Good time is here. Lions, not sheep. That's it, brother. Hey, good time. Check it out, man. I changed the wardrobe today. We're rocking and rolling with the Motley Crue. We put the Jets jersey away, and we got some Motley Crue in the lab here today. Going on? What's going on, Roofy? Good to have you in the lab this morning as well. Always good to see my buddy Matthew Roof. Hey, guys, if you guys met Matthew Roof yet, if you haven't, I invite you to check the dude out. The guy's got an incredible presence on LinkedIn. The guy is all about unkind. Jimmy, I got the wrong camera on. Right over there. Right over there. You guys all about uncommon kindness. There's a true motherfucking story. Oh, there's the F-bomb I told you guys about. Yeah, uncommon kindness. You guys, why is kindness so uncommon? Ask Matthew Roof. Go check him out. LinkedIn. And oh, by the way, if you're talking to Matthew, you're talking to us. Matthew's part of the lab. Help me drive this thing to the next level as we get after it every single day here at 8 o'clock Eastern time, right here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Today we're talking sleep. Jimmy, we're talking sleep today, man. I got to tell you. I think I'm just going to get into a little bit here more this morning, Jimmy, about the sleep part. I got to tell you, Jimmy, when I took this gig, I just took this gig. Fuck that. I made this gig myself. This gig that's changed my whole life, actually. The morning show. So I had to change sleep habits. I didn't have a choice. So I was the guy who used to stay up a little later at night, who used to have the FOMO, who used to kind of chase the late night hours, chase the midnight oil, chase the midnight candle, and then get back up and get after first thing. I got to tell you guys, when I was building ICUC, I was the epitome of the burning candle at both ends. I got a confession. I got a confession. Yeah. I was crushing at least, good time? I was crushing at least 3 to 4 2 liters of Diet Coke a day. Now, there's a true story. There's a confession. When I was growing ICUC, I was absolutely crushing a bunch of that aspartame in and out of my veins, man. I had more aspartame in my veins than blood during that time in my life. But I wasn't sleeping very much at all. That was a non-sleep era as I was growing ICUC. And as I've been growing this thing, I've had to make an extreme a concerted effort to focus on sleep because we know sleep is the absolute superpower. So, and we're here to get in front of the state, get in front of you guys all the time and encourage you guys to develop good habits. If I'm not going to develop good habits, you guys aren't as well. So I've had to really refocus on changing my sleep habits, and it's without a doubt changed me. My alarm goes off 3:45. Good morning, buddy. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. He's standing again today. I like when he's standing.
Yeah, my back definitely feels better. It would make
Oh,
a big
good.
difference.
Yes.
Yeah. But can you hear me okay? Am I got a delay? We're good.
No, I think we're good. I think we're absolutely good. Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Am I good here too? I'm fucking doing my.
Yeah. No, you didn't respond
man.
right away, so I thought, fuck, maybe we got a delay, but we're good, baby. We're good.
I'm doing my.
Actually, what I did with my desk in the house, is I cranked it up as high as it would go. It's kind of borderline, but it's not. I can now when I'm sitting, I've got to be so goddamn upright.
Oh yeah.
And then if I want to, I could just I could open up my stance almost to like a squat or a deadlift stance. And I could stand at that desk with my legs opened up. So I think I'm going to try to do away with this, with long periods of sitting.
Well, so do I, man. I'm all about that. I got to tell you something, brother. I was thinking about you yesterday. I think you would have been proud of me. Well, I know you would have been proud of me, actually. My morning routine is pretty fucking nailed down. Get up, I do my lift, I get some cardio in, I do our show, and then after the show, I go back to the gym.
Before you continue, brother, can I just share one thing? I want to hear what you got to say.
Please.
But you need to say the rest of this, knowing that, brother, I'm always proud of you.
Oh, so thank you, brother. I appreciate that. Well, listen, I got something that's going to encourage other people too. That there's no fucking excuse not to do anything. So my routine. I get my shit up, get my done in the morning. I do the show, and then after the show, I'm so wired up. I go back to the gym, right, and then I get on with my day. Well, yesterday, Johnny, I switched my morning up a little bit because I know I had some obligations with my team overseas to help them out with some stuff as soon as the show was over. But I had one thing on my list that I didn't accomplish, which was a non-negotiable yesterday. On Mondays and Fridays, I get my runs in. I hate running, as you know I do, but I still do them on Mondays and Fridays. So I got a cardio. I got a ride yesterday on my bike yesterday. I got my lift in, and then it was noon Central Time, so 1 o'clock Eastern Time. I still hadn't had the one thing checked off my box. I really wanted to get my run done. It was in my head, Johnny. It was fucking with my brain, and I was sitting there working away, and looking at the clock, going, I know the best thing I can do right now is leave my desk, go for a run for 30 minutes. And guess what, John and Marty? Guess what? Nobody missed me. Like, I snuck away for 30 minutes and I got my shit done.
Yeah, it's just you. It's just you thinking.
Exactly. But I bring that up because we all get so caught up in our old world that, oh, John, I can't leave the office and go for a walk right now because the office is all going to miss me. You know how fucking meager 30 minutes is in the grand scheme?
I just say, no, you're not that fucking important.
No, I know. So I got up. I went.
Me too. Everybody, the world's gonna be okay for 30 minutes minus whoever we are.
I went downstairs and got my run done. I felt so damn good when it was all said and done. I went back to my desk, and it was as if I didn't even leave. I was like, oh, the dogs didn't know I left. The clock didn't, and it was just with and the funny thing is, it's still in the same hour, so it's like the hour didn't even change. Like 30 minutes is so unimportant in the grand scheme of it all, yet so many people make the fucking excuse, I don't have time to go work out. Really?
Brother, I'm totally with you. The one thing that I do, I'll check out, because we have a group chat for everyone.
Yeah.
I'll check it on that group chat.
Yeah.
I'm going to take my fucking nap.
Oh,
everybody stay the fuck off me for the next 45 minutes, everyone, please.
Hey, so I got something for both you guys because we have not only a strong motherfucker on here, but we also have another strong motherfucker on here, and one of them is strong and one of them is maybe stronger, and I'm strong. Well, I don't know what the hell any of that meant, but anyways.
I was going to say, maybe Marty can decode that. That's some fucking shit. That's some shit that's going on before I came around to straighten your ass out.
Boys, do you think 225 pounds sounds heavy? Now,
depends on who you are.
Yeah, that's an average bench. That's my bench, actually. I do 225, 250 kind of thing. But guys, listen. How about lifting it 52 times in a row? And that's exactly what British strongman and the two-time world's strongest man champion, Tom Stoltman, did.
Well, hold on real quick. Let's go back there. That sounds amazing. But Tom would admit this. Just about every strongman would. Strongmen don't fucking bench press. That doesn't apply to the sport.
Yeah, so there's some.
I never fucking bench press when I was competing as
well,
it's always overhead.
Yeah, there's actually some controversy in this, John, which is why I brought it up here because because I wanted to get. I'm glad you said it, John. So hang tight on your opinion because I want to follow through with you. So this guy unofficially broke the long-standing NFL Combine record that's remained untouched for 25 years. But here's where it gets a little bit dicey, Johnny. Stoltman's performance not only highlighted the extraordinary capabilities of elite strength athletes, but also reignites the conversation about how benchmarks like this stack up against the feats of like world-class strongmen. And, the NFL Combine bench press test used a 225-pound barbell, but then Justin Ernest's record of 51 reps set 93 still stands officially. Stoltman completed 52. But the questions were around how thorough, how deep his actual bench presses were, Johnny. Like how legitimate, I'll put those in air quotes, how legitimate the bench presses were. I see.
Okay, so
of course they got to find.
So if we take this, so Tom's doing that at the gym, fucking around.
Yes.
I've actually Tom's arms are fucking forever long. He's not a good, but not. I mean, he's a world class presser.
Is
but
this one of your buddies? This one of your buddies?
I don't. We know of each other, but he came in long after I retired.
Oh, okay, yeah.
But anyway, he's just fucking around the gym. Per example, pressing was my strength. That's how I would do well in pressing events. Fuck, I bench pressed 225 in the gym in the fucking high 60s, low 70s.
Yeah.
But you're just in there fucking, nobody's fucking looking. It's not for some record that's going down in the NFL Combine. So you can't really compare the two.
I didn't
it's
know
like
funny. I didn't know.
It's like a guy like in the gym, I've been 600 pounds before. There's no fucking way I would do that in a competition.
Yeah. But Johnny, you said something I didn't know. So in strongman competitions, the bench, like that movement is not a natural movement. Is that correct?
When we're talking about natural movements, we're just talking about it doesn't apply to that sport.
That's
Marty's not fucking practicing a slap shot when he's working on playing basketball.
Yeah. No, that's what I meant. Like that activity is not part of strongman activities, right?
That's the big three. That's powerlifting: bench press, deadlift, squat.
Oh yeah.
Strongman is picking up fucking odd objects, pulling fucking buses and trains. It's like it's a cross pollination. People just don't think they think power lifter. It's like, I don't know. It's like if someone doesn't understand any sport that has the word ball in it, they think basketball, baseball, football is kind of all the same.
Yes, I got you. Oh, Johnny, I don't want to say forgot about that, but perhaps overlooked it. And most
people, unless you've actually had the conversation to really break it down, it's just what most people think.
Yeah. Boys, we got to pause. On behalf of
he said we got to pause it, then he pauses. I love it.
Joshua.
Hold on. You said we got to pause, we got to pause it, then you fucking froze.
Come on, man. Come on, man. What the hell is going on in Canada with the internet?
I know the problems. We got to pause and thank our friend Joshua for the $5 super chat. $5, man. I appreciate that, Joshua. I appreciate that a lot, brother. I appreciate you a lot, man. Joshua's comment was, I'm not strong. And here, boys, comments from John and Marty. I'm not strong, but I have a really bad habit of overtraining and constantly injuring myself. Any advice? Johnny, start with you, brother.
That's why you're not strong, brother. If you stopped overtraining, you would get strong. I mean, literally, if you think about you break a muscle down. No, you break a muscle down. I'm trying to help you understand. You break a muscle down. If you don't let it heal, it's not getting stronger. It's getting weaker. And it's very susceptible to injury. So you're training too much. That's the problem.
I think he just ripped through the $5.
Well, he wanted to fucking answer. I'm giving it to him straight. I'm giving him some fucking pearls of advice here. I mean, literally, if you took your training, just try this. Train every other day. I'm not saying it's forever. Just try that. Inside of a week, you go, fuck, I feel great. Then you'll see the other side of the equation. Now the key is to kind of bring it back to that place that's good for you.
If there's one thing so Joshua, I'm going to say this. I've been hanging out with John every single day now for almost a year. And I got to tell you, man, just being around him and just the thought process, and Marty, I'm suspecting you've been the same. I have found myself, I'm not going to say training less hard. That's not what I'm trying to say at all. I'm going to say training more effectively, more mindfully, Johnny, just so our conversations. Like just because of our conversations, right? Just being a little more mindful with things. Like I've been more mindful of protein. Like yesterday, I did a good lift and I was thinking about things, but no, you know what? Andersen or AJ or Marty would probably coach me this way. And I find myself thinking about you three because I find myself also sometimes falling into Joshua's world when I'm kind of all strung up. Okay, I gotta go. Wait, hold on, slow down. Right? And there's value in that. There's real value in that statement.
Well, and the thing about it is, like Joshua and even myself, and what you're describing, brother, is you're exercising discipline because that discipline makes you feel. Exercise that discipline in a place that doesn't overtrain you. You still get the same fucking result in terms of that.
But you know the problem is, Johnny, and I wonder if Joshua subscribes to this as well. And actually, I got a topic with AJ later on today. I think, John, sometimes, and I'm curious, you, Marty, like I chased the dopamine hit. Like that run yesterday morning was all about me chasing that hit. I knew I had to get it done. It was like on my list. And I knew this, you talk about feelings, John. I knew that because I hadn't had that checkbox done in my mind, I was unfinished. But the moment
I so understand that.
I know you do. I'm going to talk feeling. Yeah. So my discipline was more around exercising. I got to chase the hit. I got to get the box checked so I could relax for the rest of the day. I suspect Joshua is maybe even kind of the same way.
Well, let me share something. Today, non-training day, pretty fucking bummed out. I was like, God damn it, I need my fix.
Yes.
So what I did a fucking gnarly fucking burpee workout. Why? Because it fucking sucked. Why? Because when I was done, I was going to get what I needed.
Yeah.
In terms of my dope.
I see Marty smirking. Marty, what would you like to offer?
It's not like I woke up going, fuck, I can't wait to do those burpees. I was like, I got to find a way to get my fix.
Oh, that's not what you woke up saying to yourself this morning, Johnny? I can't go wait to get my burpees today.
Yeah, I'm never doing a burpee day, but I'll do some burpees. But I would say to Joshua, just 1% at a time, man.
Yeah.
One day. Stop trying to hit the home run.
Yeah. Well, look at his comment, Marty. Look at his most recent comment there.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Oh, he put another one down.
Yeah, the bag gets me often. Tore both rotator cuffs training for a fight. Well, there you go, right, brother?
Oh, yeah. Oh, man, the back.
Slowing that pace down, right?
Yeah, even with boxing, though, you got to make sure you implement some recovery, too.
Yeah,
yeah. Warming up, you know.
Yeah, there's a balance, man.
I also got to call a pause and call some attention to somebody, Marty, we have had around here for a little bit of time. Good morning, future. Enzo is in the lab. It has now been well over a year since I first encountered the show. Glad to see how much the show has grown in that time, from 2 in January to the 3 of you later in the year. You gotcha, Enzo. Good to have you here, brother. Enzo hanging out with us this morning on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Good to have you, Enzo. Good to see you, brother. Hope all is well in the future. And we're still getting after it, brother. We got a lot of focus. We got a lot of momentum. We got a lot of excitement here happening in the lab every single day. Happening on. And Joshua, I appreciate the tips. Yes, I appreciate you. All right, guys, listen, I'm going to do accountability check it. And I want to come back. I found something. The Last Supper. What science says we're going to eat when the world ends. Yeah, I found that it's going to be a quite interesting future ahead of us, and what we're going to be crushing when the world is over, when we're living in the bunkers. Adam Holroyd watching all the trains up behind us. Enzo looking in the future. Joshua, our security guy, hunting for food. Jimmy's like, what the hell are you doing right now, Billis? I don't know, Jimmy. I don't know. I'm adopting a different voice because some guy on LinkedIn thinks I'm a bot. Josh and Jonathan, Keith, I'm not a bot. Even sometimes Lauren's like, what the hell is going on? I'm like, I don't know. I just fucking get down there and start talking and life happens. You guys, knowing what to do is easy. But will you actually do it? You guys know what to do. You do know what to do. I know you know what to do. John knows you know what to do. I know what you got to do. We all know what we got to do. Good time. Do we know what we got to do? But will you actually do it? Will you actually execute? I've met a lot of talkers over the years. Oh, baby. Lots of talkers. Yeah, Joshua, I'm a bot. I'm absolutely a bot. Thanks for the $5, man. It'll keep the gas in my tank. I met a lot of talkers. People with massive dreams. Some would even accuse me of being one of them. What's shaking, Fontana? Good to have you in the lab, Fontana. Joe Fontana. Oh, yeah, baby, Joe Fontana. I was watching the Netflix documentary last night with Osama bin Laden. I was looking for you. Yeah. I met many talkers over the years, as I said, many with massive dreams, the best plans. Just talk. Yeah, just talking. Just talking without intention. Just talking away. They knew every detail it needed to get done. And yet they never executed. Execution is the hardest thing, guys. Not because they weren't ready, but because they were waiting to be perfect. Yeah. Fontana. I saw the bushes were moving. Fontana, the bushes are moving through the scene. Like, hey, that looks like fucking Fontana moving through the bushes over there. And then I saw the smoke billowing out of the bushes, Fontana. You know what I'm talking about. But I gotta tell you, these guys were just talking, and not because they were waiting to be perfect. You know, we're talking about the habit stack hack, right? It's just, gotta be no, progress. One more tweak, one more draft, one more strategy session that would make a difference. But perfection, moving target, never is. It's a stall tactic dressed up as high standards, dressed up as procrastination. And I get it. Perfectionism looks like you're being responsible, but it's really just another way to avoid taking action. It's another way to do the easy things on your list. It's the other thing to avoid all the good stuff. I know, Fontana, I got to spit my motherfucking message out. I got to tell you guys, I used to fall into that same trap of procrastination until I decided I had enough. And it's time to get after it. You don't need to be perfect, you guys. Pick another P word. Just be proud. Get up, get after it. Don't hit the snooze button. Create some momentum for yourself and make yourself proud. I'm giving you permission today, you guys. Make yourself proud. Look in the mirror and say, yeah, I feel pretty good about myself today. When's the last time you did that? And then follow through on what you're going to get done today. There's your positive message, Jimmy, on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. We got Enzo coming back here. Yeah, future's pretty good. New work schedules. This is usually my sleep period, but I've taken a few sick days to put in some work for USA University application travel for next year. That's awesome, Enzo. Enzo, make your way to North America, man. Come visit us. Come visit us here on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends. Jimmy, let's bring Johnny. I'm loving the stand-up situation with Andersen, man. I think it's awesome, brother. I love it. I can see the energy. You're moving around. You got your leg up today, pal, too? Are you doing this? Oh, you're muted, pal. We got you muted on the vertical.
God damn it. What are you doing back there?
Still muted down there. I see you muted. I see. I see the microphone's
Jimmy,
muted there.
God damn it! Stop muting me, Jimmy.
There you go.
Had enough of that.
Oh, there is that what it is. Is Jimmy being too proactive as the boss?
I don't know. Fuck, I didn't hit the mute button.
Hey guys, imagine waking up to a world where grocery stores are empty farms. Farms are failing. I'm sorry, grocery stores are empty. Farms are failing, and international food trade is a thing of the past. Well, it sounds like a movie plot, right? Well, listen. Scientists have actually modeled what our diets would look like after a global catastrophe. Guys, understanding how to sustain ourselves in a worst case scenario isn't just survivalist, it's grounded in real science.
Are you talking about this Chinese fucking farm that's like an 8 or 10 story building that's just indoor farming?
No, tell me about this.
Oh, fuck, man. It was just one of those things that kind of came across Terry's feed, so she showed me. It was like, imagine like the size of a football field, roughly. It could have been bigger.
Yeah.
But it was square. It was massive. And it was just this big fucking square building. And it just kept, it might have been 10, 12 stories. I don't know. And each floor, they were growing some fucking vegetable or something. I don't know.
Well, speaking of
basically said it's going to be, this is the future of farming in China is what it said.
Yeah. So I found, go ahead, Marty. Yeah. So I found something from BBC Science Focus. They explored the most resilient post-catastrophe crops. So I know that, so if the world had a catastrophe today, here's what we're eating. We're going to eat peas. Great for today's climate, high in protein and calories, but don't survive cold nuclear winters. We're going to eat potatoes. Calorically efficient, but sensitive to heat. Sugar beet and spinach. We're going to eat wheat and carrots, and we're going to eat, and then urban agriculture alone won't save it. Even if every rooftop is planted, it would only feed about 20% of the city's population. Preserved foods would be our only, oh, I'm sorry, guys, I missed this more here. So all those foods we're not going to eat. The preserved foods are going to be our lifeline. Honey, we're eating honey. We're eating salted, dried, vacuum-packed foods. We're eating lab-grown nutrition powders like Huel, shelf-stable and nutritionally balanced. We're eating things like, I hate to say it, guys, but things like Twinkies. And I bring up Twinkies not because we're eating Twinkies, but because of how
they'll last for fucking ever.
Yes, exactly, Johnny. Exactly right. Right. So
that, you know, I'll be out eating fucking cockroaches and shit before I'm eating Twinkies.
You know, I'm probably cockroaches, fucking crickets, and
whatever fucking lived through that shit. If it's crawling, I'm eating it.
Yeah.
So stay off your hands and knees, boys.
Yeah. Marty, what are you eating in an apocalypse?
Oh man, I think I'm going out hunting, man. I'm getting some deer, man. I'm cooking it.
I don't think a deer made it through, brother. That's the whole thing. Is after an
There's
apocalypse,
no
there are very few choices. Like I don't think a deer would make it.
Whatever wild animal is out there.
That's what I'm saying. It's gonna be fucking like little bugs and shit crawling around. All the good eating stuff is gone.
I'm going to look for some mammals. Let me get what I can find.
Marty's the deer hunter in disguise, is what you are.
Exactly. Yeah.
That's it.
He's gonna start looking really fucking scrumptious.
Oh, wow. That's
so yesterday we talked about the FDA changing food guidelines, and finally the US is going to start changing some of the food guidelines so that you guys can actually eat real food instead of all the chemicals. Then you start hearing about, if a post-apocalyptic thing happens, we're back to eating a bunch of processed junk again. That's or cockroaches or crickets is what we could absolutely eat along the way.
And grasshoppers.
And grasshoppers too. Johnny,
I've eaten some wild shit, and I didn't even real reason to do it other than to try.
Well, I was just gonna ask you, have you eaten insects, Johnny?
Oh yeah, fuck it. I mean, it's just try something. Like, especially at a bodybuilding show, dude. When you're fucking hungry, I've actually just the other day I tried this. This is really Tara got this new dog food. It's supposed to be more nutritious for the dogs, and I was like, I give them their medicine with this stuff.
Come on, man.
I take a little spoonful, put the pill in there. And the spoon, I always had to go and wash the spoon. And usually because I use like a spoon for the day. So I'm not using fucking 7 or 8 spoons.
Yes.
Fuck this shit. I'm just going to fucking lick this thing clean rather than walk over and rinse it off. And it actually didn't taste bad at all. Listen, all you motherfuckers that limit yourselves by what you think it's these are prison walls you're putting around yourself.
I love it. So
I don't think I'm putting myself in a box by not licking the spoon clean with some dog vitamins.
Anytime you think that it's to do something is nasty or whatever, why do you think it's nasty? Because society has convinced you it's nasty.
I don't. Well,
that fucking dog food has got more nutritional value than the shit they're serving up. And Marty, you ever eat a hot lunch in school? Same fucking shit. They just put it in a different form. A fucking hot dog has got more nasty shit than that dog food, guaranteed. When was the last time you ate a hot dog, brother? Society says it's okay to hot dog, so people eat hot dogs. But you look at the shit in a hot dog, far worse than that dog food.
I asked the question about an insect, and Johnny just nonchalantly, oh yeah, just like he went to the candy shop, and then he just gets into the conversation of, oh yeah, I was feeding the dogs last night, and Marty, I was watching your face because I could see the story being told by Marty, and you're reading it in advance, and you're like, he's going there with the spoon, and you're like,
I just was hoping he didn't go there, and then he said he licked the spoon clean. It just caught me off guard.
Well, here's the thing. When you push the limits, you push the limits everywhere.
So somebody would say the same thing about eating somebody's ass. They're like, oh, you're eating somebody's ass? Well, yeah, I like eating ass. But that's where
I guess when it comes to assholes, I built myself some fucking prison walls because I told Terry, look, if you want to play with an asshole, you're going to have to go get a boyfriend. And I sure as hell not eating an ass. So there's my prison walls. There you have it. There you have it, everyone.
Fontana, do you have anything to say? Marty's like, what?
You can put the nastiest fucking insect in front of me. I'll fucking chew that thing down. An asshole is staying on the other side of the room.
From insects to dog food to assholes. Those are all the topics we're covering this morning on Mornings at a Lab, the Morning Circus.
We can go an hour on that topic because I got so many questions, man. But I know we got a show to do.
Josh, where's the $5 for this conversation? Oh, Marty, you get to the fit tip. I got to get the towel on my face to dry myself off, and we're going to keep it going. Matthew Roof is coming in. Humans are full of protein. I guarantee it becomes literally a man-eat-man world. Yes. Marty, let's get after it, pal.
You guys are crazy, man. All right, let's get it. We got the fitness tip for today. Stop trying to hit the home run. All right. One step at a time, 1% better every day. The reason you're struggling to hit your goals is because you try to move too fast, right? There's only so much progress you're going to make in 2 weeks. There's only so much progress you're going to make in 30 days, right? You've been stacking calories, right? And stacking the wrong habits for years, for decades for some of y'all. It's going to take some time to reverse that, right? Give your body time to adjust to get rid of the fat, right? To get rid of the bad habits, to get rid of everything that's holding you back. It's getting ridiculous. To get rid of the big back, right? So listen, when you go to the gym, don't try to kill yourself. Shout out to Joshua. Sorry, Joshua, not trying to make fun of you, right? Don't try to kill yourself every day, right? Go at a high intensity, but you got to recover too. So do some stretching, do some yoga, get some rest, get some sleep. You're not going to hit the home run in 30 days, right? Again, we preach longevity on this show. So everything we're doing is to maintain these habits for the rest of your life, to improve, to be the best you. And doing as much as you can in 30 days, that's not going to be the best you. That's the fitness tip for today.
You can in 30 days, just go, 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 and then 31st day, okay, I'm done.
They stop.
Well, I'm sorry, man. I got to cut. It's like the 75-day hard. I can't wait to day 76. Why? So I'm done.
Oh, I literally know people who on day 76, they like went on vacation and just, it defeated the whole purpose of it, you know?
That's just so bizarre to me.
Yeah,
it's the idea of, hey, I found a formula that works. I can't wait to quit it.
It's crazy, right?
It's crazy. Like, yeah, I got the cheat code to become a millionaire. I'm just going to cheat myself and not complete the task.
So that comment you make is the same reason I keep saying philosophy is the future of humanity, because that's not an AI comment. Like that comment is like, when you say that, like that's a human thought that is so provocative, right? Which is, I find a solution that worked until I was done, and then I'm going to fucking stop the whole thing. Like,
but you know, the crazy part about it is going right back to the fucking dog food of the insects.
Yeah,
it's only fucking hard because people around you think it's hard. They've convinced you it's only fucking nasty because people around you say it's nasty. Look at the other shit in other parts of the world. Eating fucking monkey brain is like the top notch.
No question about it. Oh,
so I mean, it's all how it's fucking framed. What have you been programmed to think?
Yes. Yeah.
I mean, Mad Max, he thought fucking dog food was a goddamn delicacy.
Yes, 100%. Yeah, no, you're right.
Granted, there wasn't much to eat at that time, but he was that can of dog food was far better than his other choices. Dude, because in that time, that's what everybody, that was it. So it's like, you really got to kind of be careful with this idea of your mind gets framed by the dipshits around you, or it gets framed by the people who don't accept limitations.
Well, here's what I find even more as humorous, boys, is that, and we only have to look as far as actually the border, as Donald Trump would say, the imaginary line between our two countries here. So we're largely the same human being. I think we have largely the same values. You know, we chase the same culture, et cetera, et cetera. Yet in the country where I live, they're like, here's what your Fruit Loops look like as an example, and here's how they taste. And then in your country, a different person made a different decision and said, okay, here's your Fruit Loops, right? And they're both Fruit Loops, but the ones in America are all chemically and covered in a bunch of crap, and the ones in Canada are very different, and the ones in the UK are very different. And what I find humorous is that just three different people made three different decisions for humans on every different continent, and it's
well, dude, it's even fucking worse than that. You know, especially in America, we're convinced that we have this freedom to choose.
No, you don't.
We're programmed with what our fucking choices are.
Yes.
Is that really fucking freedom?
Nope.
You know, I've been eating fucking ground beef for breakfast for fucking ever.
Yeah.
I mean, some days I won't eat that, but that's because it's got a purpose. Oh, that's not breakfast. No, that's how you've been programmed.
I've definitely heard that before. Yeah, I've heard that before.
You've been fucking programmed. You could, okay, what kind of milk? What kind of cereal? Well, don't you think is that really fucking freedom? You've been programmed to believe that here are your choices. It's not freedom.
Then these same people will complain about their lack of results and they're not getting any protein for breakfast, but they still want to eat Frosted Flakes for breakfast.
Well, and we're just using this talk around breakfast and food, but it goes to all fucking parts of your life. We think, oh, the land of the fucking free, but everybody's programmed to go to fucking school to learn about a bunch of shit that doesn't help them become fucking financially free. All right. Get a fucking job that they're going to end up fucking not liking. It's like you're programmed to have these small bit of choices within. It's crazy.
Yes. We got some comments coming from Holroyd. Adam says John will be walking around the apocalypse with a Ziploc bag of insects in his pockets. And then we got Josh,
right, brother.
That's right. Joshua coming in. That's some solid advice. I was hitting the gym for 8 hours a day from not working out. Josh, come on, man. You're smarter than that. You don't got to go to the gym for 8 hours a day, brother. Jesus, Murphy. And then
real quick for Josh, just a marker is this. If you're getting injured, or B, if you're not making progress, you're training too much. You just start peeling it back and you'll find that balance.
Yes. And then we have Lady Drew, who's a regular here on the show. Lady Drew, I love your participation and your comments. She has a question for Johnny. Johnny, does that mean your mind has been framed against eating a perfectly cleaned ass? After all,
yes, it has.
It's meaty.
Yep. I accept that framework.
There's the comments from Lady Drew this morning. I love it, man. Hey, Marty, you got a few minutes to stick around there, brother? You got to rock and roll.
I got to rock and roll today, man.
You got to rock. What's on the agenda today? You got some big stuff happening there? Just a regular day in Marty's loop?
Just a regular day. I've been doing a lot more with my content. I think I kind of hinted at that yesterday.
Yeah.
That'll be later on today. But just grinding, man.
Beautiful, brother. We have yourself
at some point, brother. I just was, we know each other well enough now that I feel like I could say this. Brother, your business has potential that you don't even understand. I'd be fucking happy to jump on a call and just kind of lay out, just let you see some of the avenues that thing could go. And all you got to do is nudge it that way. You've got all these pieces there. I think of me as like a coach that comes in and watches the basketball team and recognizes that you got a skill that you're not putting to work on the court.
Let's do it, man.
Come on, baby.
I appreciate that.
Of course, brother.
Awesome.
Yeah, man.
All right, Marty, you have yourself an awesome day, brother. Lots of love to you, pal. Always love having you around and always enjoy you every second. Have a great one, pal. We'll talk to you later. Okay, buddy?
You too. Talk to y'all, man.
Have a good loop, my brother.
All right, John's going to get out of here, guys, and I got a topic I want to throw on the table this morning that is related to some recent news. And, putting all politics aside, we obviously had some news yesterday that former President Joe Biden has been diagnosed with prostate cancer. So I put a timely topic on the table today, Johnny. And the timely topic
when was that just found out yesterday?
Yeah, it was announced.
Prostate cancer is fucking crazy. I think it's like 7 out of 10 males are getting it now.
Yeah, so I thought the timing was great for our audience, Johnny. Maybe and Jimmy, maybe we even cut this up for an evergreen. 7 silent signs of prostate cancer that most people ignore. So, gentlemen,
this is good.
Gentlemen, this is not a doctor's diagnosis from Uncle Keith and Dr. Johnny over here. This is simply an awareness conversation that as you're listening and tuning in, you're thinking about some of the things you're saying. You're like, you know what? I'm kind of noticing this. Maybe, just maybe if you're noticing some of the things, you might want to go and check with your own health practitioner about some of these things. Number 1, Johnny, sudden or unexplained weight loss. So here's the thing, right? You clean up your diet, you're getting after things, you're living a good, healthy life, but you keep losing weight. You're like, geez, why am I?
I've never heard that one. That's really interesting.
Yep. So often this is a symptom of advanced prostate cancer, meaning it's spread to other parts of the body. Specifically, you may notice poor appetite and unexplained weight loss if the prostate cancer has spread to liver. Number 2, chronic lower back pain, and that would
back up real quick. Yeah. So when you say the weight loss is really not for the prostate, it's because it starts in the prostate and gets somewhere else.
Correct, okay. Johnny. It's spread, and your body is fighting it, and as a result, your body is now losing weight out of nowhere. So you're like, why am I losing weight?
In the loss of appetite,
Yes.
That's a big one because a lot of
Yes.
times you see the loss. You're going to see the loss of appetite before you see the weight loss.
100% you will. 100%. Yep. Chronic lower back pain. Now listen, there's many reasons you may experience lower back pain, but if it's something that's been bothering you for a while, it could be more serious than sore muscles or bad posture. And as a doctor in this article said, it can be easy to ignore those lower back pains, but it's frankly a common,
it can be misunderstood.
Yes, exactly. But it's a common symptom and a 2021 study published in the Global Spine Journal states that among prostate cancer cases, John, that spread to the bones, the spine is the most common site because of the blood supply to the region. Number 3 is a common one for men, especially as we're getting older, Johnny. And you and I joke about it all the time because you're frequent breaks, and I know you have awareness on this, but frequent or reduced urination is very.
Oh, brother, I'm telling you, I key on this motherfucker all the time. Perfect example.
Yeah.
When I wake up in the morning,
yes,
my water intake is going wide open, right?
Yes.
By noon, it kind of starts to slow down. So like my urination by the time the late afternoon comes is really, really slowed down. So it's like I kind of track that, and then obviously one of the things I'm always tracking too is that if you feel like you got to take a fucking piss, like you're going to piss your pants and almost nothing comes out, it's because that prostate's pushing on your fucking bladder. That's
exactly it. I could not have explained it any better, brother. That's exactly it. So I'm glad you raised that up. And it's
but on that level, got to remember I can't remember the term for it, but there's a term for when you're excited or nervous or both, and you feel like you got to take a piss.
Yeah.
But you really don't. So don't confuse that.
Correct. Yep. Absolutely.
Like I can remember when, when I first got to international level in strength, swear to God, I was going to fucking piss my pants a minute before I went out there every time. But then I would just go out there because you're in the mode. Fuck, I don't care if I piss my pants as long as I place in this event, I'm good.
Oh yeah.
But then you come back, you go and use the fucking bathroom. You don't really have to pee. It's just that feeling of, oh my God, I'm going to pee because you're so fucking wired up.
Yeah. The next one, Johnny, is pain or blood when urinating. And the most common cause of pain or burning when urinating is a bladder infection. However, if urine tests come back negative for infection or the burning and pain is persistent, be sure to dig a little bit deeper. So, guys, again,
when you piss, you may have some sex with the wrong person too.
Well, and listen, if you got blood in your urine, I think there's no pause. You go to your doctor right away. And that's not even that's not even Uncle Keith thing. Just get your ass to the doctor. When you got your piss and blood, get the hell to see your doctor. And the same thing with blood in the semen, you guys. Like blood in your urine, seeing blood in your semen can also signal prostate cancer, oftentimes in early stages. A Harvard Health explains that a mass in the prostate can obstruct the ejaculatory duct or nearby ducts, and blood vessels, Johnny, dilate and can express some of the blood. So you could get blood in your semen. So guys, again, you notice that, stop what you're doing, stop jerking off, stop having sex, get to the doctor and check that out. Because if you got blood in your semen, you might have worse going on. Number 6, Johnny, we talked about this in the show, just from a general, men thing, erectile issues. Right. So if you're experiencing pain during climax or having difficulty getting an erection, you might want to check your prostate because it plays a role in producing semen, and there might be some things going on there. So guys, just again, an awareness thing, especially as we're getting older, guys, just things that we want to create awareness on. Johnny?
I did not know that. I didn't know that prostate had something to do with getting a good piece of wood. I didn't know that. Interesting.
And then the next one, guys, is discomfort while sitting. So pain or discomfort while sitting is another possible warning sign of prostate cancer, and it typically occurs as the disease progresses. So as the prostate cancer cells grow, it can start to invade the muscles in the pelvis or rectal wall. So and it can give you the sensation, Johnny, that you're sitting on a ball because the prostate may be inflamed. So guys, just some things to create some awareness around it. And guys, not trying to fear monger, not trying to scare anybody into doing crazy shit, just simply creating awareness around things like sudden or unexplained weight loss, or chronic lower back pain, or frequent or reduced urination, pain or blood while urinating, blood in the semen, erectile issues, or discomfort while sitting. If any of these things are kind of happening constantly, guys, I'd encourage you to knock on the door and go see your
and also make sure that you're really kind of breaking it down. If you're uncomfortable sitting because you did some sort of workout where your groin is sore, well, okay, let's realize, okay, I'm not feeling like I'm sitting on a tennis ball or whatever you said. So really, don't just take one of these things and run with it. Think about it first.
Yeah, exactly, Johnny. And as Good Time says too, man, they can check with your blood work, right, guys? So there are tests that we can take, and there are some more advanced tests that can be offered up as well. The point of the matter is, guys, it's about awareness. Hey, Johnny, it's awareness. Guys, don't be ignorant to these types of things. Have the awareness, get yourself checked, and live a whole and full life. All right, we got AJ hanging out in the green room. We're going to bring in and going to talk dopamine. Johnny, we're going to do the lifestyle tip, bring in AJ, and then we're going to come back and talk some habit stacking. Let's get after it, pal.
Let's rock. All right, we just got done talking about prostate issues. Let's take prostate issues and just kind of put that into a larger scale. See, our bodies were designed to operate a certain way, and they were designed to operate off a certain type of fuel. And unfortunately, right now, when I say fuel, we're talking about food now. So unfortunately now, it's almost more difficult to find the right fuel than it is. The wrong fuel's everywhere. Let me make an example. We've all seen, like, they're building a new neighborhood and they got these huge earth moving machines out there, right? And these earth moving machines are designed to operate just on dirt because they're differentials. The tires have to be able to slip. You take that thing on pavement, it'll blow up the transmissions and the differentials. It's because it's being used outside of its design. Well, when we're eating all of this shitty food, this processed food, we're basically taking our bodies and asking it to operate outside of its design, which then creates this ripple effect of health issues. Call it prostate, call it what you want. But here's the thing. If you have the average American diet, you will get the average American disease. Think about that. You want to take care of yourself? Eat in a way that keeps the body within its design. You're not going to have all these fucked up problems such as prostate and God knows now. Of course, it's not a thing that guarantees you're never going to have an issue, but it takes away that ripple effect that's taking the body away from its design, which is going to keep you happier and healthier. So think about that. When you eat in a way that keeps the body within its design, you will have far less problems with your health moving forward. Rock and roll.
Get after it. Eat some good food, you guys. And like you said, get yourself checked up for your prostate and so forth. Hey, Johnny, question from Lady Drew. Are there exercises to strengthen one's spine?
Oh, my God. Well, are you talking about the muscles around the spine or the spine itself?
Yeah, just a general question on the screen there. Are there
I think when it comes down to it, most people need to be working. There's two big straps of muscles that run right down the spine. Those are called erectors. Most people don't really key on working those erectors, especially people that don't work out. So what I recommend for people to do is that keeping those muscles strong and conditioned will keep, in many cases, back problems away for people. So I recommend if you just do a few Superman exercises daily, it's a complete game changer in terms of keeping your back healthy.
I love Superman. Great exercise. AJ, I mean, you spent just a smidgen of time in the gym. Like just a couple seconds. Any additional comments to add on to Jon Andersen's comments on strengthening the spine there, brother?
Yeah, well, John said, we got our erector spinae that run up in each direction of the spine. We also have a lot of contributing musculature around there too that contributes to the movement in the spine, right? Like when we think of like what helps stabilize and rotate the spine, we have our lats, right, which is a huge muscle group, which is really really plays an important role in that. So, all these muscles kind of serve multiple functions. So if you have a well-rounded, balanced program, which includes plenty of back training, pull training, both like horizontal and vertical, and all and you're gonna hit those muscles, right? So.
We got Lady Drew coming in with what are Superman exercises? Lady Drew, laying on the floor and actually lay on the floor and pretend you're Superman. Put your arms straight out, arch your body, get your legs up, and literally press your core down and pretend you're flying on.
Think about clenching your butt cheek as the first trigger.
That's exactly right.
Your butt cheeks, well, then it'll kind of turn you into like almost like a U, like this.
Yeah.
That's what you're looking to.
AJ, you missed a part of the conversation earlier today. We were talking about post-apocalyptic food, and we talked about eating insects and protein and crickets. And Johnny offered that he'd have no problem eating some of the insects on the planet instead of all the processed crap. Just curious, from your point of view, brother, would you be crushing some insects as well, or would you be crushing the protein, the processed protein stuff and the processed foods from the chemically laced, dry food, or are you going to go hunting with Johnny for the insects and the cockroaches and the crickets? AJ's
you know what? I think like mentally, I could probably do anything but a spider. I can't eat a spider, man. When I see it on those shows, man, and they eat, like I remember on Fear Factor once, they were eating a spider, and the person kind of chickened out halfway in between, and they kind of bit down, but not the whole thing, and they just got the back half of the spider, and the front half landed on the ground and was running around all crazy, and then they tried to chase it down and pick it up and eat it. And I was like, I can't.
So he got that fucking part that like exploded all the pus in his mouth.
Oh man!
Oh Jesus!
I can't do. I can't eat a spider.
Well,
spiders give me all the processed stuff in the world over a spider. Crickets and other stuff like that, I've tried actually, and I don't mind it. I could get around eating certain insects.
Well, Keith. Also, what I should have shared earlier was, I've been all around the world where different. Things that we think in America are nasty are delicacy.
Oh, I know. 100%.
So, I mean, I've been exposed to, so it's like, I just don't have limitations. Hence fucking licking the spoon off of my fucking dog's dog food spoon.
Yeah. Oh, that was the other thing we learned, AJ, that, that when Johnny's feeding Midas and Kiki, right? Kiki?
Yeah. Not an everyday occurrence, but I wanted to see what they were eating.
He might have to sample the food, AJ.
Well, no, I just it was a new one, so I wanted to see what they were eating. I don't need to do it over and over unless there's nothing else to eat,
Yet, AJ, we did talk about eating ass in the same conversation, and Johnny politely declined that conversation. So, insects.
I didn't decline the conversation. I declined the eating of the ass. I'm happy to talk to you about it. You're not going to get me doing it.
AJ's like, I love this conversation. It's funny because I put the conversation in AJ's bucket this morning. I said, hey, we're going to talk about dopamine today. Yeah, we're talking about insects and crickets and eating ass this morning on Mornings in Live with Keith. Hey, we got a few questions from the comments here this morning before we get into it, Zaglin. We got Oregon saying, eat ass, my friend. It's healthy. We got Joshua, the chipmunks will survive the apocalypse. Those guys are scary survivalists. Hey, Laura and I spent some time in Peru, and I got to tell you, Mike McQuillan, what's shaking? I can't tell you, Johnny, how many restaurants we saw with the guinea pig just splayed it on the plate. It's like a squirrel, right?
Oh, dude. I mean, when I was in Brazil, I would go to these different, say, look, I want whatever has the fucking most meat.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm
fucking eating all sorts of fucking weird little rodents.
Yes. We got Brophy.
I didn't ask what it was. I'm just looking for the meat.
Jason Brophy eating ass right on. I just woke up. He rolls over, turns the show on, and he's like, what the hell? These guys are talking about eating dog food, insects, and eating ass. Yes, that's exactly what we're talking about this morning. And then we also have, I guess, a legitimate question from Brophy here. Any thoughts on testosterone replacement therapy for getting back into working out and trying to improve sex appetite? And I'm suspecting that's a theme probably happening more often around North America.
It's extraordinarily helpful, but people have to understand that, it's like replacing, if your testosterone is really off balance, getting it straightened out is going to be, there's so many benefits, but people tend to think that, oh, I'm going to get on some testosterone replacement therapy and I'm going to fucking magically get in shape. It doesn't fucking, all of these cheat codes are fucking great.
Yes.
But they don't show up to the gym for you. They don't eat the right thing. They don't say no to the fucking Twinkies. You have to do that. Think of it like this. Easiest way to put it, all the cheat codes, all the supplements you could call the edge.
Yeah.
That's the icing on the fucking cake. The cake is you living your life properly.
Yes. Yeah. It's so true. You know, again, we
nobody wants a fucking mouthful of icing.
No, but yet, you know, we all get caught up in too many of the extracurricular stuff when we got to stay on the foundational stuff. Hey guys, have you ever wondered why anxiety sometimes seems to come out of nowhere, triggered not just by fear, but by everyday decisions and inner conflict? Today, groundbreaking neuroscience that reveals a hidden player in the anxiety puzzle: dopamine. Yes, the feel-good chemical we usually link with rewards and pleasure has a secret role in fear and avoidance. Guys, understanding how dopamine shapes our response to anxiety can revolutionize the way we approach mental health, opening up entirely new treatments for anxiety disorders and giving us a deeper, more compassionate view of how the brain handles stress. New role, new region scientists from Mount Sinai have discovered, AJ, this is what I shared with you this morning, that dopamine isn't just active in reward centers like the striatum. It also plays a vital role in the ventral hippocampus, a region linked to emotion and memory. D1 versus D2, emotional gatekeepers in the hippocampus. Dopamine interacts with two distinct receptors. The D1 receptors encourage approach behaviors that make you more risk prone. D2 reduces fear and avoidance, essentially acting as a brake on anxiety. The balance of fear and curiosity. The ventral is now seen as a decision-making arena where dopamine helps the brain navigate between curiosity and caution, between stepping forward or pulling back. Now, some lab evidence, guys, in mice studies activating D2 neurons in this region significantly reduced fear, indicating that these cells may naturally soothe anxiety responses. AJ, within all the science and all my words and jumble here, and I shared this with you this morning, let's wrap this up into something quite simple. What is this study telling us about dopamine compared to what we have known about it, and what maybe this study is telling us about dopamine? AJ.
Yeah, it's just that like all the other neurochemicals, right? It actually helps support many different things, right? And oftentimes we'll simplify stuff, you know, and when we simplify it, don't get me wrong, I love simple stuff, but sometimes when we simplify things, we lose sight of just how important that they are in the big picture, right? So dopamine comes under fire a lot, right? Because you have your, you know, everyone has their phones now and stuff. And, and everyone talks about, oh, I got to go on this dopamine detox. I got to detox myself because I get this hit and stuff like that. And it's like, you know, if our body naturally produces something for specific purposes for us to function in our daily lives, you know, we probably don't need to detox from it, right? There's other roles that it's playing that are equally important to whatever our understanding is. So I'm not surprised. I have heard and read a bunch of stuff on other things that dopamine influences and other systems and factors that it engages with, that it helps with. So I'm not really surprised to hear this, that it helps in that anxiety part. And so, yeah, I think it's just a great illustration too of just, we're constantly learning new stuff too about the human body, right? And it's always interesting to know, like, just, you know, people would be surprised how little that we know. But when you work in the field of psychology, when you work in the field of human performance, all the information that comes out every year, and you're like, it's really crazy how little we actually know about how everything works.
Well, and dopamine, to your point, AJ, with social media really, you know, being such a massive part of culture and society now over the last, 10, 15 years, dopamine is like the big D word, eh? It's we all, I gotta get my dopamine fix, and it's so I don't know, misconstrued or construed. And we got Joshua coming in with a really great comment, AJ, which is, you just blew my mind. It makes sense now that my anxiety went away after I started working night shift, since there's less stimulation. Does that make sense, AJ?
Yeah, but so it's not that actually that we would want, or sorry, I'm not super well versed in this right now, but from my understanding, it's not actually, it's just actually the new understanding, the new information that dopamine is used differently, that there's two different types of receptors in the brain there, D1 and D2.
Yes.
And those receptors play a different role, or they help influence different functions. So it's not actually a reduction in dopamine. Like if you reduced your dopamine levels too low, then you would probably find an increase in depression and anxiety is kind of my quick understanding. But again, I'm not super well versed in this. I know you sent me that. I gave it a quick look over this morning. Like I said, I am somewhat familiar with it. I have read other things on it on the same topic, but it's so I think the idea would be, it would be discouraging things when people are like, oh, I need a dopamine detox. I need this and that, because when you do, you produce less dopamine. That dopamine can't get to that D2 receptor, and you're probably going to find that your anxiety and depression increases. And that would kind of come into alignment with other things that we know, right? Like when we're not moving as much, right? When we're not active as much, we often feel worse, right? One of the best things for our anxiety is to get up and move. One of the best things for our depression is try to be active and move. Well, dopamine is one of the neurochemicals, along with a bunch of others that get released in our system that help with that. I just think here they're having a better understanding of the role that dopamine actually plays in that, outside of it just being feeling a reward for the movement. It's also has this other receptors that actually help with the anxiety, help regulate and manage it, right? That's my understanding of it. But.
Well, here's the thing. I think when it comes down to it, we know that when people say, well, we know dopamine is like the do it again drug, right? Obviously, we talk about, oh man, do something productive. We want to do it again. But here's the problem is that when people say I need a dopamine detox, they're really not talking about the dopamine. They're talking about the fucking dumb shit they've got it hooked up on.
Yes.
Right. Yeah. Totally.
You're not really saying, oh, I need a dopamine fucking cleanse. You need a fucking social media cleanse. You need a fucking junk food cleanse. You need all this terrible behavior patterns that, dopamine is supporting you do more of because you're living your life improperly.
Yeah.
100%. Because you'll also get that dopamine release from really good decisions too.
Yes.
And
100%.
You don't want to cut that off, right?
Yes.
You're going to get it from exercising. You're going to get it from spending time with people that are important to you. You're going to get it with
100%, brother.
And really interests you. You're going to get it from picking up your guitar that you're learning how to play a musical instrument, or you know what I mean? All these things that can be really beneficial in your life too. You don't want to detox that. You don't want to cut that out, right?
It's just people's lack of understanding. It's people's lack, because when you say no to that video game or no whatever it is that you think is you're cleansing dopamine, you're saying yes to the other activities, which dopamine is also involved, but it's pushing you in a different direction in terms of your daily lifestyle. It's just a misunderstanding how people present this detox. You're not detoxing dopamine, you're detoxing the dumb shit that's fucking your life up.
It's interesting when you talk about feelings, because and we like to talk about how we feel. It's like, I think what you guys are saying, okay, so I'm gonna play a scenario. Okay, I'm moving into a healthy lifestyle. I've made it through the weekend of not making dumb decisions. In theory, Monday's coming up, my brain is activating, feeling really good about myself, because what you guys are saying is that I made a bunch of good decisions over the weekend. It's that same thing, isn't it? Which is that, oh yeah, I didn't fucking binge on a bunch of crap on Saturday and Sunday. It's Monday here. I got 2 days. And I'm sharing this because I know there's people that go through these journeys. And what you're saying is that good decisions also activate the dopamine, because what usually happens is because here's I'm thinking, guys, is a typical scenario. I'm going through the weekend, I'm crushing a pizza, dopamine hit, I feel good about myself. I'm going through the weekend, I crush some ice cream, dopamine hit, I feel good about myself. Weekend goes, I have some sex, dopamine hit, feels good about myself. That's one scenario. Or making good articulated decisions, eating good healthy food, having sex, taking care of myself.
Well, I think to feel good about yourself has to do when you've got the fucking dopamine hooked up to the right fucking thing. I don't ever hear people say, fuck, I played video games all weekend. I feel great.
That's what I mean. By Monday comes, I've made a bunch of good decisions. In theory, what you're saying is that my brain should be activating all that dopamine because I've made a bunch of good decisions. And I'm bringing it up because I often don't think we think that way. We think about the reward for playing a video game, eating the junk food. We say, hold on, make good decisions. You're going to have the same response on Monday. No, trust me, it's going to happen. Right, AJ, basically?
Yeah, absolutely. The dopamine's in a response to us feeling that we've given ourselves something that we want, right? So if we're sitting there thinking, oh, I really want this bag of chips,
yes,
bag of Doritos or whatever, and I eat it, there's this very short-term gratification where I get a dopamine release because I felt like I really wanted it.
Yes.
You know, the crazy thing is it's how we use it, right? Like by also saying no to that bag of chips and doing something good for myself, I could also get a dopamine release from that too. You know what I mean? Again, it's just accomplishing something. So if our mindset is, no, this is important to me. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to accomplish.
Yes.
These are the things that I want to follow through on. And I say, hey, I want to stop eating junk food. Every time I say no to that junk food and I successfully don't do it, I also get a dopamine release. I have accomplished something by saying no, right? So the dopamine's coming either way, just like Jon said. It's really how we use it. And like you said, Keith, like we're gonna get dopamine releases throughout our weekend either way. But you know, one of those paths on Monday, we're gonna be feeling pretty good about ourselves. And one of them on Monday, we're going to be kind of feeling like a bag of shit because we didn't take care of ourselves all weekend, right?
Yeah.
It's going to be that idea of the delayed gratification, right? And the not even the delayed gratification, but just the understanding that, you know, dopamine's not good or bad. It's just like anything else. It's not inherently good or bad. It's how we're using it, right? Yeah.
Can you and you think about what are we thinking about? Because the brain is going to find the reasons to support. Like if you're thinking like you want to do something positive, right? Your brain's going to find reasons for you to do something positive, which is then you do it. Boom. There's the dopamine. Want to do it again.
Yes.
It all starts about your thoughts. If you're thinking about reasons why you're not going to go to the gym, you're going to find the reasons you're not going to go.
Yes.
Yeah. You think about the reasons you're going to go, you'll find them, you'll go. You're going to end up getting your shit no matter what. The dopamine is a drug. It's just, are you using it for the positive or the negative?
Joshua comes in with, to AJ's point, a person's personal chemistry changes what is the cause of anxiety or depression. In my situation, I have a hyper alertness disorder. I still need dopamine to function as a human, right? And
every human does.
Yeah. Gentlemen, do you know, and AJ, maybe, can you go to the doctor to supplement your, like if you're low on dopamine, is there such a thing? Can you get supplements or medication to increase or enhance your dopamine?
Yeah, you totally can. It's called fucking exercise.
Yeah.
Fuck.
I love
Jesus Christ, man.
I love it. No, I love it.
Why the fuck's everybody got to go to the fucking doctor?
Yeah.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah, I know that's the real answer. Is there a chemical
answer?
And
the worst part is the doctor probably won't even tell his patient that. That's the worst part about it.
The problem is you go see the doctor, and the doctor hasn't worked out in fucking years either. He's just busy prescribing prescriptions. AJ?
Yeah, there would be some prescriptions. There's obviously some drugs out there that can be taken that help treat anxiety and depression and are prescribed for those reasons. They would perform like a number of different functions, like to stimulate the release of certain neurochemicals and stuff like that. The dopamine would be one that would be in there along with a number of other ones, right? But like Jon said, I mean, you can read the studies between medications prescribed for like antidepressants and for when compared to exercise in study groups. Exercise wins 100% of the time.
Exercise is the number one fucking stress reliever on the planet.
Yeah. Well, I guess it's an antidepressant. Duh, it's an antidepressant, isn't it? That's what a dopamine drug is, right? It's an antidepressant. No?
Yeah. Absolutely. Yeah. It's one of many neurochemicals, right? That would just like when we exercise, you're going to release dopamine. You're going to release brain-derived neurotropic factor. You're going to release norepinephrine. There's going to be a whole bunch of them that get released. Serotonin. there's going to be a number that get released, right? So the same would work with the prescribed medication, right? There would be numerous neurochemicals that get released into the system. But exercise has been proven time and time again to be the most powerful one. And I think too, the kicker on the exercise, like what really puts it over the top, is I think not only do you get that release of those neurochemicals into your system that all play a role in how we are able to regulate anxiety and work through depression. But there's those other like intangibles that just come with it, right?
All the compounding effects.
Oh man, and the belief in yourself that you walked in there and that you did something hard. And you came out the other way, because that's what life is, man. Like there's no way, like the only way out is through. You got to go through it. You can't go around shit, right?
And if you're out there listening right now and you're thinking, God, this sounds so amazing, but it sounds so difficult, it's only because you've been convinced it's difficult. It's not difficult. Sorry to interrupt, AJ.
No, I love it. I like it.
Well, and Joshua comes in with Johnny's response is A tier, because it really is, right? And it's just get up, get moving, get to the gym, eat good foods. Period. Kate, show's over, life's over, guys. Life's boring. Like, no, but really, like that fixes a lot of problems for many of us. AJ.
Yeah, like our body is actually specifically designed, like we have a system in place that helps us regulate stress, that helps us regulate anxiety, that helps us with our mood. And it's the only thing required for us to activate that system is to physically move.
Yes. Speaking of stress, AJ, do you got 5 more minutes for us?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome. Let's get into stressful situations that I know as people are starting their day right now might find themselves in at work.
Hey, brother, before we take off on this one, I got to have a piss.
Yes, you got to go pinch it. Jimmy, let's get John out for a piss, and I'm going to start this conversation with AJ, and Johnny will resume here. AJ, I got the one trick that can instantly diffuse tension at work or perhaps even at home in relationships. We're talking about anxiety and stress. You know, we got folks here tuning in today that find themselves in the middle of workplaces or situations where they just absolutely spiral out of control, AJ, over something small. Like just something small. Oh my God, right? Today, I want to reveal a surprisingly simple yet powerful method to diffuse conflict, keeping your tone neutral and speaking matter-of-factly even when emotions can run high. And trust me, guys, this could be a game changer for preserving professionalism and peace. Now, the single communication shift can stop a disagreement from turning into a disaster. It helps keep emotions in check, opens a door for real dialogue, and sets a tone of respect and clarity. Whether you're managing a team, your partner, your kids, or collaborating with peers, this can be a secret advantage. AJ, emotional escalation is the enemy, period. When people raise their of gestures, it often provokes a defensive response, frankly, halting any chances of resolution. A neutral tone equals emotional safety. According to conflict resolution experts, a calm, even tone helps others feel less attacked, which reduces their emotional, reactivity. So AJ, you and I are coming into work together. There might be a conflict. And this is obvious, but I bring it up, AJ, because often we just need awareness, right? And if I come in with emotion, how are you going to react? With emotion.
Yeah. You're going to feel instantly.
Respond, don't react.
Yes. So we talk about being professional or being human because it can be contagious. A composed demeanor not only reflects self-control, but it sets the standard for how others will respond. Hang on that one, AJ, Johnny. If I come in with a controlled demeanor, you're going to say, okay. And we often talk about it, and I know you do this in your in your practice with your clients. Like if I'm sitting there like this, you're probably mirroring me like this. It's that mirroring body language, AJ.
Yeah. There's a few really great things there. We always talk about that breakdown of communication, right? And how much of it comes from facial expressions and our body language and our tone, right? And how little is actually on the words that we say, right? And so, you come in and someone presents calm and their tone is calm, right? Now that other person, no matter what the words that are coming out, it's going to be easier to have a more productive conversation, even if it is some type of conflict or some type of conflict resolution, or if you're working through a situation or a problem together, that person's more likely not to take it personally, right?
Yes.
It's such a big part comes from our body language and our tone. And if those things are calm, we got a better chance of the conversation being calm. And like you said, and we've said a million times, people are more likely to watch what you do than what you say, right? So, I mean, there's a great scene in Semi-Pro with Will Ferrell, which is one of my favorite Will Ferrell movies, when he's just freaking out. Oh, no. Sorry, not Semi-Pro, Old School. When they're in the locker room and he's yelling at everyone to keep their composure. And like, he's the only one freaking out. And he's like, we gotta keep our composure. Anyway, but it would really be like that, right? Like if you're sitting there and you're, we're having a conversation and you're telling me to calm down, but everyone knows that doesn't work when two people are fired up and all of a sudden you're yelling and you're like, you got to calm down, that's not going to work. But if I'm super calm, right, and my tone is calm, my body language is calm, then I'm more likely to influence that person instead of me yelling at them to be calm, right? You could say to be calm, but if you're not showing it, the chances of them calming down are very little, right? So people are more likely to mirror exactly what you said, what they're seeing, right? So if you're presenting calm, two huge factors of our communication, you're taking care of those, and you're also presenting in a way that people believe that you're calm because you're showing that you are. You're not just saying you are, and they're more likely to follow that than you just yelling at them.
This is so true, brother. I mean, we have so much more control of the outcome of a conversation than we realize. It's if someone, of course, it's how we only have control of ourselves, but how we present ourselves. If we react to what someone says, guess what? It's on. But if someone says something, can take a deep breath. I mean, this is how when I really committed to responding rather than reacting in my relationship with Terry, we went these fucking huge stretches without having fights. Huge, like well over 12 months. But when I was reactive, no, didn't work.
Yeah. Well, I got Melissa coming with a great comment here. Melissa, this is awesome. Proverbs 15:1, a soft answer turns away wrath, but a harsh word stirs up displeasure. A lot of truth in that. Johnny, you're good at this one. Without practice labeling emotions without performing them. Instead of acting angry, you might want to say, I feel angry in a neutral tone, right? Because I'm going to think, AJ, that if I came to you and said, man, I feel angry, the curiosity within you is probably going to say, Keith, what's making you angry? Let's talk about it. Instead of me coming in and going, and you're like, okay, whoa, slow down. I'm suspecting if I come to you and make that statement using the content that matters, not the way that I deliver it, going to make all the difference to you. Zeglin.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, because it just in one way, I'm probably going to feel extremely threatened, right?
Yes.
And then I get defensive, and then when people get defensive, we talk about the parts of brain that come online.
Yes.
Right now, the amygdala is fired up, the limbic system is fired up. You're in fight or flight mode.
Yes.
Right. You're like, oh, I'm in a conflict here. Like this is right. And when you do that, your prefrontal cortex, the part of your brain that you use to rationally make decisions and figure stuff out and work through problems and approach challenges, that part goes offline, right? So it becomes very, very hard to see a solution in the problem and kind of think about it logically and have a discussion about it, right? It just increases to a level of intensity where both people don't have that access to that part of their brain in that moment, right? So like you said, by doing that, it just changes the whole dynamic of the conversation. So much is in the delivery, right? When we talk to each other, and when you deliver it in that way, it keeps both of us rationally thinking. No one's feeling defensive. No one's getting their back up, and we're able to keep that logical part of our brain online and functioning.
Yes. Well, here's the thing. Every day I wake up and I work fucking hard to find peace and find that really good vibration where I'm feeling good. I'm not going to let a situation take that from me.
Yes.
It's my fucking fault if I allow that to happen. And if more people would spend time getting themselves into that great spot and protecting it, a lot of this conversation doesn't exist.
Well, but I agree with you. Where you're further ahead, I'm going to invite others to consider is that you've taken the time to make a practice with that. Like that doesn't happen back. There's practice involved with.
And if you don't fucking practice it, you lose it real fucking fast.
Right. So it's waking up, having that awareness. And this to me this is a good conversation about something that we don't think about, but is actually extremely important. Right. Like, because this sets the tone for could be your whole day or your whole week. And if you don't have the ability to regulate emotion, and if you don't have the ability to, regulate conflict, you're going through a pretty fucking difficult life on a daily basis. Like, actually,
and people don't realize that.
That's what I mean, right? So we talk about
it's like they're just wandering through life, going from one pissed off moment to the next.
You said choice, which I can't stop thinking about. This is a great way to wrap this conversation up because I think AJ will love this too. AJ, if men spent as much time focusing on what's happening up here and what's coming out of here as we do on building big chest, big shoulders, and
fucks it up every time. But let me make it. It's supposed to sound clever, right? Jeez, I mean, he was giving it a go. I'll give him that, right?
See you guys.
if most men train their brain like their chest, they'd have a totally different life.
I like it. I love it.
I liked my version better.
Well, fuck, you got to spit it out where people will actually be able to digest it. What the fuck? What's he saying? I think I get it.
Listen, so guys, next time conflict arises, remember, you don't have to suppress emotions, but you can control how you communicate them. As our old buddy Andersen says, focus on responding instead of reacting, because reacting
changed my relationships.
Yeah, and mine too.
I complete, because I'm surrounded by females.
Yes.
My wife, my daughter.
Yes.
My daughter, excuse me. Finally I got a grandson. I got an extra set of balls in the family here, but he's too young to actually be making an impact at this point. But point of being is that when I learned to respond rather than react, it was fucking changed everything. My relationships got so much richer, and I cannot explain how I realized, what I have the power or the ability, whatever adjective you want to use, to make these relationships better, but I have to have the self-control not to react when something pokes me.
Yeah, exactly.
Take a deep breath, respond to it.
Yes.
Because now it's this nice, even flow conversation versus if I react, now I got another reaction coming back, and boom, 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 boom. Next thing you know, things are all fucked up.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm a bitch. I'm a pussy inside. So when one of my ladies gets upset with me, it fucks me up. I don't like that.
Yeah, I hear you. Jason Brophy, have a good day, brother. Checking early. Brophy, I appreciate you hanging out. Listen, Brophy, watch the Sharks, man. They wreck the underwear. Jason Brophy joining us from Calgary here today. Have an awesome day, brother. Always appreciate you hanging out with us. Zagan, I got to let you go, man. You've spent more time with us than I could have even imagined. What's happening in your world today, pal?
Just in the gym, and then off to watch Boston's in the semifinals today for his baseball.
Nice.
So he just plays high school baseball as well. So going to watch the semifinal game. Hopefully they could win a big one and get to the finals tomorrow. And then, that's about it, man. And then maybe
is it cheek day?
It's Deep Cheek Tuesday, man.
Nice. Dude, I was doing some power cleans yesterday. I could feel the cheeks today.
And then, maybe I'll see if I can get a movement on social media started here behind Jon Andersen's dumb shit detox. And Be like, get on social media, see if we could get a trend going and be like, hey, you don't need to detox from this and this. You need to detox from all the dumb shit in your life. Here's the dumb shit detox. Stop doing it. Man, I think it would be pretty helpful.
And, you know, because it's real easy to blame the dopamine. It's easy to blame the dopamine. It's difficult to blame the dumb shit.
Right,
Oh, I love it. I love it. Bradley Sherman, I see you there on the green room, brother. I see you there on the horizontal feed, and I see you on the vertical feed, but I think Jimmy's telling me that you might be muted on vertical, Sherman, so we're going to bring you in a few moments here. AJ, have yourself an awesome day, brother. I always appreciate you, and let's catch up, okay, pal?
I love it. I always appreciate being here. Thanks, guys.
Awesome.
Have
All
a
right,
great day, brother.
get out of here. Johnny, I know you got to rock and roll. Can we do a 3-minute habit stack hack before you roll?
Let's rock.
Okay, so I got a crazy one here today. I think it's fucking crazy. So here's what I love was, right? I just put in the old chat and it just chat spits me out shit and then it surprises me. So I think this is a crazy one, actually. So this one's all about our shoes. So the hack here is when you put your shoes on or tie your shoes, that's the trigger, Johnny. Put your shoes on or tie your shoes. Then the trigger is when you tie your shoes, pop open a voice memo and journal for yourself. So I don't know if you like the second part of it, but I like the trigger about the shoes because we all have to put our shoes on at some point throughout the day. Am I wrong? And I'm gonna look at you because I want to.
Well, I mean, my first thought was, fuck, I haven't put a pair of shoes on in about
I know.
5 days.
I fucking knew you were gonna say this, you motherfucker. yeah, you live with yeah.
I didn't even do my power clean shoeless, brother.
I knew you were gonna say that, but go with me, brother.
But I would say I represent such a fucking minority on this one.
Yeah, I know.
The showers is I was represent a bigger chunk, you know. But this one, so putting on shoes would be a good trigger, but I mean, I guess putting on your shoes and whipping out your phone and it just.
Is it too complicated? Maybe is it kind of like a two?
I don't know. I mean, I think that
maybe John, put your shoes on, do some body squats. I'm just spitting with you right now.
Yeah, what I was gonna say is you just put your shoes on, do something active because usually putting your shoes on is kind of a signal you're gonna move. Dude,
you can put your shoes on and do 10 body squats in less than a fucking minute. And if you do that, every time throughout the week, think about this, right? You put your shoes on 7 days a week, just talking with you. You do a 1 minute body squat, a 1 minute of body squats, which gets you whatever, 30, 50 body squats. Dude, every single week you're nailing 300-400.
Well, I got a different one here. So so most people when they put their shoe on, they're gonna be sitting down. Yeah. And they're gonna flip that left leg, right leg up on the left knee.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Okay, so that's a stretch of the glutes.
Your toes. Yes.
Yeah. So maybe what you do when you're putting your shoe on, when you kick that leg up there, you spend 15, 20 seconds stretching in that position. Because if you just stretch a little bit in each position like that every day, it goes a long way.
Yes. I like that. So put your shoes on, get yourself a stretch in. Simple as that. Because we talk often about touching toes, Donnie. We talk about the power of touching your toes. If you're putting your shoes on and going through the effort of going through that and doing it on a daily basis, maybe you hang for 10, 15 seconds, a little longer.
But are you catching the position I'm trying to describe?
Yeah, so I'm doing this. I'm bending over with my shoe, right? Right? That's what you're talking about, right?
But most people don't put their shoe on fucking standing. They're going to sit.
They're going to sit.
Right? They're going to sit. Then they're going to take the right foot. They're going to swing it up and put it over their left knee.
Yes. Okay, yeah.
That's a stretch of the glute right there.
Yeah. Okay, there you go. Yeah.
Because touching your toes for many people, that might be too large of a barrier of entry.
I agree with you, actually. So when you sit down to put your shoes on, what you're saying is create a longer stretch in your glute, right?
Yeah, because what most people when they pull that right foot up on top of the left knee, they can feel that stretch already there. Well. Right. Just hold on to your foot, lean forward, hold it for 10 seconds, put your shoe on, do the other side. If you do that every day, pretty soon you won't be challenged to put your right foot up on your left knee or vice versa.
Boom, boom. I like that. That's simple. Jimmy, we've captured that for the habit stack hack. I like that, guys. I like that a lot.
Simple. And it takes 20 to 30 seconds.
And it's an accumulative exercise. It's a cumulative.
Yes.
Right.
And these habit stacks should be these fucking simple little things. Because then what's going to happen?
I like that.
I kicked my foot up there so easily on both sides. Now I'm going to try to touch my toes. The non-negotiable so little.
Yes.
But then they're going to want more because they see the progress.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. There's the habit stack hack for today, guys. When you're putting your shoes on, you sit down, put your left leg up, stretch that glute for an extra 20 seconds. Put your right leg up, other glute for another 20 seconds. You do that accumulatively, guys. Before you know it, you're going to have looser hammies. Before you know it, you're going to be touching your toes as we keep bringing out these habit stack hacks on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends, myself and Jon Andersen, every single day, 8 o'clock Eastern time. We get Matthew Roof joining us before you go, Johnny. Practice kindness, guys. One question can solve this. How am I helping someone else right now? So, guys, you go through your day today. Ask yourself this question. How am I helping someone else right now? Of course, uncommon kindness being led by our buddy Matthew Roof. Johnny, what's going on today, brother, before I say goodbye to you?
We are basically we're heading to Mexico today. Yeah, so we're basically going to go handle some client stuff after we're done here, because today's a non-training day.
Yeah,
at least with the weights. And so we're going to go handle some stuff. We're going to load up the new Jeep and head down.
And go feed the dogs and lick the spoon yourself?
Already done. Didn't lick today, though.
I love you.
It was just a test.
You know what's funny is as my kids were growing up, I'd feed the dog snacks, and and there were some snacks that looked like raw cookie dough. There was one day I'm like, hey guys, you guys got to try this raw cookie dough. So I gave Carter and Piper each some of the dog snacks until I realized that they weren't actually dog snacks. I'm sorry, cookie dough. They were dog snacks. So,
brother, my kids have eaten chicken hearts, chicken livers, beef tongue. I mean, it's because I wanted their minds to be open.
I love it. I love it. A lot of fun today here as always, brother. We dropped a bunch of nuggets on the show here today, guys. Hope you guys enjoyed the conversation. And Adam Holright closes before you leave, pal. I was waiting for that. John doesn't wear shoes. Yes, Holright, you're right. He doesn't wear shoes, which is the whole point of our habit stack there. So, all right.
I wear shoes if I'm going somewhere.
Yes. Are you wearing shoes in the Jeep to drive to Mexico today?
I'll put on for flip-flops because God knows I'll end up getting out at a gas station to take a piss, and I surely am not walking in a public fucking bathroom barefoot.
No, but you'll press the gas pedal down with the bare foot.
Actually, Terry drives.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, Terry. Well, she drives us once we get to the border, then we switch.
There you go. Awesome. And guys, hashtag dumb shit detox. AJ Zeglin and Jon Andersen, a brand new series of content coming up. I love it. All right, pal. You have yourself a great day. Drive safe, okay? And we'll look forward to connecting you tomorrow from Mexico.
Have a good loop, brother.
All right, pal. Johnny's out of here. Jimmy, let's keep it rolling, man. We're moving into the bottom half of the second hour. What if I told you, Sherman, you're coming up next, pal. What if I told you that the next big disruption in your business isn't... Yeah, somebody's phoning me right now. I don't even recognize that number. What if I told you that the next big disruption in your business isn't AI, it's your age? Today's guest helps world leaders and CEOs decode the future of humanity. And spoiler alert, it is already here. Today, we're going to be joined by Bradley Sherman, the author of The Super Age, founder of Human Change, and the Demographic Whisperer, trusted by Fortune 500 CEOs and the World Economic Forum. Yeah, Jimmy, the World Economic Forum. He's here to help us understand why society's aging isn't just a slow-moving trend. It's a seismic shift happening right now, guys. Plus, we'll chat about his brand new podcast. Guys, he's got a podcast. Podcast? Why doesn't he do a live show? Population Next, the real risks behind ignoring demographic data and why he might just be your favorite new bagel chef. Let's get into it. Let's get into how the world is changing, how you can stay ahead of us. Jimmy, let's bring in our guest for the next 12 minutes or so, Bradley Sherman on Mornings in Live with Keith and Friends. What's shaking, Sherman?
Hey, Keith, how are you?
Good. How are you, buddy? Where are you joining me from today?
I am joining you from Washington, D.C. I'm about a 15-minute walk from the front door of the White House.
Another D.C. guys. Jimmy, we have had a lot of guys from Maryland in the last walk here. I got my co-host, Christopher Martin. See, Marty Fit is from Maryland. And I've had a lot of guys come through the lab here in the last little while. And, of course, your beloved Washington Capitals were exited from the playoffs here a couple weeks ago, as were my beloved Winnipeg Jets. On teams number 1 and teams number 2 in the regular season are now gone out of the league.
Correct.
Yes, yes, yes. So what's that? So Brad, we celebrated you a couple weeks back on the community corner, and now we're here to hang out with you today and get to know a little bit about you, dude. I gotta be frank. Looking at your content, looking at your stuff, and the idea of bagels jump out of me. I used to love eating. I used to fucking crush bagels, man. I crushed them, but then I started turning into a bagel. I showed a picture on the show a few weeks back. I actually was a bagel. What makes your bagels so good, Bradley Sherman?
Well, I have to tell you, I did 3 things during COVID.
Yeah.
I got a dog, I wrote a book,
Yes.
and I learned how to make the perfect bagel. Those are the 3 things I did during those years.
Interesting.
And the bagel thing, we couldn't get them. And DC is not known for its bagels. New York City is.
Yes.
So
yes.
I had to learn a little bit of science to get it right. And that included getting the water to the right New York City water pH. That's the secret, is getting the water to the right pH, because then it bubbles correctly and everything just works. And when I tell you they're the best, they're the best. I cannot find a single one in DC that's better. And I've had a hard time finding one in New York City that's better than mine.
Dude, so you just dropped the bomb here, man. It's all about the pH levels in the water.
Hey, man, all of baking is science.
It's true. Yes, you're absolutely right. It is. Yeah.
Yeah. It's one of the more precise sciences that we have is baking. So I couldn't figure out why I couldn't get it right. I followed every recipe. I tested and learned. And it turned out it literally boiled down, pun intended, to the water that I boiled the bagels in. And man, they're phenomenal. And I've improved upon them by letting them rise for 2 days in the fridge, so they get a little bit of sourness to it.
Yeah.
They're really fantastic. It just takes a little time.
Dude, that's awesome. That's awesome. Let's shift from bagels to demographic changes.
Yeah.
Now, when did you and how did you realize, Bradley, that the demographic change was the hidden force that was shaping everything from markets to migration? Where did you see that, and how did you discover that?
Yeah, well, migration is part of demographics.
Yep.
So is aging of our population, so is death, and so is births, the number of kids we're actually having. And I noticed this shift actually about 25 years ago as I would travel between DC, my adopted city, and my hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. And in the rural countryside, I'd see towns that were really depopulating already, where the workforce was much older, and where you had some kids at the bottom, some older adults at the top, but really no one like us in the middle. And the reason for this is because they left for bigger cities. So we're really dealing with 3 mega trends right now as it relates to demographics. We've got these low birth rates in every Western society today, where we're having fewer kids than we need to replace our populations. As a result, our populations are getting much older. The average age increases every year. And this is a threat to the economic norms, the social norms of our nations. And the third is we're on the move. Americans, Canadians, Europeans are moving around. And this is not just the immigration issue that makes the headlines here. It's also internal migration, people moving for opportunity and away from risk. And of course, and this is the big headline that's buried well beneath the surface, people leaving their home countries like the United States and moving to places like Europe. It's a super micro trend now, and no one's really paying attention to it. But these numbers are doubling year after year, and that presents a real threat to the economy, because these are the smart, highly educated people with families, high incomes that are leaving, and they're the last ones a nation wants to see go.
I read a fascinating stat. I'm sure that you did, Brad. I think it was last week or the week before. I believe it was in the Times or was it the Wall Street Journal. In the first time in the history of the world, people are moving more than ever from their birth countries.
Yeah,
we actually have there's more people not. How is it framed out? There's more people leaving their birth countries than ever before. When you look at the globe, how the entire world population is shifting, and then all that happens with it, right? Religions and culture and all these, because of these micro trends that people are moving their birth countries, and I think it was last year, more people have moved than ever out of their birth countries. That's changed the world.
And people really only move for one of two reasons. They're moving either because of risk or reward. And risk is multifaceted. Like we think about the people that came to the United States. They were fleeing, religious persecution. They were looking for greater economic opportunity. Well, today that's changed a little bit. People are looking for refuge from changing weather patterns, for example.
Yes.
And we're seeing this both in terms of people coming in, also from people leaving and moving from, let's say, a state like Florida up north into the Midwestern states, or even further north into Canada. So this is all happening kind of underneath the surface, right beneath the surface. And people say, oh, demographics, it moves so slow. Yeah, it does. But when it catches up with you, it hurts. The pinch comes in hard and fast. So all of these changes that we've been tracking, we've been advising organizations on, from the OECD to the World Economic Forum to these Fortune 500 companies, we started telling them about them 20 years ago. And all of a sudden that pinch happened during COVID. And all of these things started to align. We've got smaller labor pools than we've ever had before.
Yeah.
And that's showing up in wages, which is a good thing, but it's also tightening, some real economic opportunities for us. So we're going to see slower growth with organizations as a result.
Yeah, you're hanging out with Keith Billis, Bradley Sherman here on Mornings Alive with Keith and friends. We're in the community corner. We celebrated Bradley last week, and we're going to get to who he's celebrating here in a few moments. Good morning, Amy Reiner. See you in the comments. Thanks for joining the show today. Bradley, if you could sit down, Jimmy, I got to just preface this first of all, man. I can nerd out over this conversation for a fucking hour, so I got to find a way to shorten this into a few minutes there, Jimmy, producer Jimmy. So we're gonna, I gotta chop some stuff because I'm digging. I love demographic stuff. This stuff just fascinates me. Bradley, I know it's nerdy to many, but not to Uncle Keith over here. Not Uncle Keith and the old fucking Motley Crue Boris glasses over here. No, I'm actually a nerd in disguise who likes to study demographics. Bradley, if you could sit down with every world leader for one demographic data point and discuss it with them, what would that one demographic data point you would talk about with those world leaders?
Financial incentives don't encourage people to have babies.
Hold on. Financial incentives don't encourage people to have babies. So what you're saying is that there are incentives around the world saying, hey, Keith, go have a baby. We're going to pay you. What you're saying is that doesn't work.
It doesn't work. The data is crystal clear on this. Countries around the world have attempted this now for decades, offering women primarily, obviously, because they're the bearer of children, cash bonuses to have more kids.
Oh, yeah.
In the United States, just a few weeks ago, the president announced a potential policy where the U.S. government would give every mother $5,000 per child.
Yes.
And boy, that sounds great on the surface, right? Until you scratch the surface and realize that the average child costs about $300,000 to raise.
Was it a couple $100,000? Yeah.
So, if we're really serious about fixing our quote unquote population problem, and it's weird because it's a problem for some, it's salvation for others, that we're starting to see populations plateau and shrink. But if we want to solve the problem and get to a more kind of balanced population policy, we need to rethink how we do society. Like, we need to have affordable housing, free or low cost access to education, healthcare, et cetera. It really needs to be a whole of society approach, just not, throwing $5,000 at a woman and saying, go have children. That's just not enough to get it moving. And what's weird is that so many world leaders look at this demographics as a switch that they can turn on and off.
Yes.
And that's just not the way it works. It's a slow moving trend. The right conditions have to be in place for people to have children and create families. And we just don't have those right conditions today.
Yeah.
So if businesses are businesses, not just businesses, but political leaders are really serious about this, they need to take a holistic look at what really works, because what they're doing right now doesn't. And in fact, in Canada and the United States, really our birth rates have been below replacement rates since the Great Recession. They have not come up. And there's no anticipation that they will. Gen Z is smaller than the millennials, and Gen Alpha will be largely smaller than Gen Z.
Really?
And Generation Beta, those kids that are being born this year, will be yet even smaller. So we can expect that the world population will stop growing in the next 20, 30, 40 years.
Hold on, I got to call Elon. We need some babies.
Listen, Elon makes some really good points on this. He is full of hyperbole, full of bluster.
Yes.
I don't think when he says things like this is the end of civilization, that is really a good way to frame this.
Yeah.
But there is a grain of truth to this. If we do want our economies to grow, we have to figure out how to kind of even the purge that's happening right now as it relates to population and get us to a historical norm where we grow really slowly. This explosive growth that we had in the 20th century when we quadrupled the global population, that was not sustainable. This path that we're on right now, where population is dropping in some countries by the millions each year, that's not sustainable either. So finding that middle ground, I think, is the real top line. It's where I would like to see us get to in the coming years.
Yeah. You're hanging out with Keith and Bradley here on the Community Corner. Nicole Bernard, see you there on the Green Room, girl. We're going to bring you up here in the business and branding in a few minutes here. We're just enjoying our great conversation with Bradley. Hey, Bradley, one last heavy question before we get to some fun stuff, and then we're going to do the creator spotlight. But I want to spend some time. I want to give you the opportunity to talk about population next. You've got a podcast launching. What stories or story are you most excited to unpack on your podcast, Population Next, Bradley?
Yeah, so we launched last week with our first episode. Thank you. Yeah. And you can find us on YouTube, on Apple Podcasts and Spotify. And we started with conversations that we don't think people are paying attention to, or at least the way we think they should be paying attention to. So, for example, the war in Ukraine and Russia. Like everyone knows this is happening. It's catastrophic in its scale. But what most people don't understand is that it's actually pushing ahead the future of warfare. Because in Ukraine and Russia, they've got a people problem. Their populations are in decline. Ukraine lost about 10 million people since the start of the war. The average age of a soldier on the battlefield is somewhere between 43 and 45. I'm 47. I can't imagine myself anywhere near a battlefield. But that's pushing technological advancement forward because without humans to fight, they've augmented with machines. And these machines have a 3 or 4-fold kill rate compared to their human counterparts. In fact, just last week, a drone shot down a Russian man-powered aircraft. So demographics are actually pushing some things forward that we wouldn't have anticipated before. The other big story I think that's really fascinating is that people haven't paid attention to China's population realities. We're so focused on their meteoric rise, pulling 800 million people out of poverty, that most of the world has missed the other reality that they're losing about 2 to 4 million people per year. And this is because their birth rates have dropped to just below 1 nationwide. And while we think of this as, oh, okay, well, they'll shrink a little bit, this has direct impacts on the cost of goods because fewer people means higher wages. This has a direct impact on their housing market, fewer people to buy the houses they have. In fact, they have 65 million excess houses that could house the entire nation of France if they wanted to tomorrow.
Entire nation of Canada.
And yeah, exactly. So, these pressures will impact other things. So a lot of businesses now are embracing what they call the China plus one strategy because they can't trust on China's population as the workplace of the world, the factory of the world to really deliver anymore. So it's China plus Vietnam, China plus Mexico in their strategies. But in the coming weeks, we'll be uncovering everything from the emerging longevity economy to how AI is going to enhance the workplace, to a subject I'm really quite keen on is examining the generations and how Generation Beta, those kids that are being born this year, are going to be the first artificial intelligence generation. And what that might mean as a result, because I was Gen X, am Gen X. I was the last truly analog generation. Millennials got computers, Gen Z got the internet, and Gen Alpha got social media. These kids, these babies born today, are getting artificial intelligence. And we've seen from these big technological shifts, there are tons of upsides, but there are a lot of downsides too.
Yes. Yeah. Well, and you didn't even take a second to touch on all the robots being built in China. And that's a whole other conversation for another day, frankly. Yeah. So Jimmy, I can't read the lights at Bradley's back. Bradley, what's that light say behind you, brother?
It says no free love, just expensive sex.
All right. Jimmy, there's the hook, brother. Jimmy's like, what the hell does that say over Bradley's back? I'm like, I don't know, man. Let's just go see what it says here. So Bradley, favorite bagel topping?
Oh, everything. There's only one topping, and that's everything.
Most surprising stat you love to drop in a keynote?
My goodness gracious.
There you go. Morning person or night owl?
Oh, I'm a morning person, 100%.
One book you wish everyone would read?
Mine, The Super Age, Decoding Our Demographic Destiny.
Weirdest thing in your calendar this week? This show with Keith.
This show with Keith, 100%.
Most surprising stat you love to drop in a keynote, brother. I'm giving you a second shot, pal.
Yeah, I think the most surprising stat is that by the end of this decade, at least 1 out of 5 people in this country will be over the age of 65.
Awesome. And then my last one, my friend, my last one before we get to our creator spotlight. If your next book, Bradley Sherman, started with the line, "We should have seen this coming," what would it be about?
The next book does start with that line.
Come on.
It's in process right now. Yeah, we should have seen this coming. We should have seen this coming because the data is really clear to us.
Yeah.
That, but we've been sold a lie, or at least an idea that there will always be perpetual growth, that we will always have bigger communities, we'll always have bigger houses, our populations, our economies will always grow. And the reality is that in our new populations that are emerging, they're smaller, they're older, they're more mobile. And this means that society really needs to adapt to those changes. So the idea of perpetual growth may no longer be a promise. In fact, we might have to get to a place where we're right-sized, not wrong-sized. We might have to get to an era where we're not just fixated on building, we're fixated on recreating.
Awesome. Hey, you're hanging out with Keith and Bradley, the host of Population Next. We're getting to our creator spotlight in the community corner on Mornings in Lab with Keith and friends. Bradley's hanging out with me today. We celebrated Mr. Sherman a little while back, and I said, hey, Bradley, here's how it works. Why don't you come hang out on my show? Because I bet there's somebody in your world. I bet there's somebody in your orbit that you'd love to celebrate. And he's like, yeah. And he presented it to me today. So what if your best years weren't behind you, but right in front of you? Most people hit their 50s thinking it's time to slow down. Fuck, are you kidding me? I'm just getting started, baby. The media calls it midlife. The banks call it too late. Uncle Keith calls it let's get fucking going. But the real danger, you guys, believing them. Because the real crisis that Gen X faces isn't just financial. What's up, baddie shit crazy? What's going on, brother? Good to have you in the comments this morning. What's up? Because the real crisis Gen X faces isn't just financial. It's spiritual. It's a loss of purpose. It's a loss of freedom. It's a loss of self. But there's someone changing that story. And this guy's not selling some fantasy about early retirement. Nope. No, baby. He's giving people tools to live better right now. Mike McQuillan, this guy's giving you tools to live better right now. Yeah, by building location-independent businesses that turn their expertise into freedom. This guy's pioneered, Bradley, this guy's pioneered a $600 billion content marketing industry. Murphy, he's built Copyblogger into a multi-million-dollar brand without ads or VC. Not that we're dropping hints here. No, not at all. This guy sold 3 companies, Studio Press, Rainmaker, and Copyblogger. Man. He's quoted in Atomic Habits, Linchpin, the $100 Startup, and more. Nation, I invite you on behalf of our friend this morning, Bradley Sherman, to meet Brian Clark, the founder of Further and true OG of internet entrepreneurship. I love it. Brian has a Substack, Further. And it isn't just another midlife newsletter. It's a rallying cry for Gen Xers who want to live long and prosper without waiting for, oh, man, I love this one, someday. Yeah, Bradley, there's that magical day in the calendar. It's called someday. I hear folks all the time. Yeah, I'm going to start working out. Oh, when are you going to start working out? Oh, someday.
Someday.
It's the cousin to one day. And I think one day is in between Tuesday and Wednesday. I'm still looking for it. But Brian, who we're celebrating today, is building a community around unretirement, freedom-based income, and creating purpose, gentlemen, after 45. So if you're ready to stop waiting for permission and start creating your own playbook, I invite you to go follow Brian on Substack. He's just not talking about what's next. He's living it and can help you do the same. Bradley, you nominated Brian today for today's Creator Spotlight. I gotta ask you, man, why are we celebrating Brian today from your point of view, and why did you present him as our Creator Spotlight on today's Community Corner? Bradley Sherman.
Well, I tell you, I think Brian's a phenomenal guy, and I think he's presenting something that is unique for us guys in midlife.
Yeah.
It's an alternate version of the future, and it's one that we can really grasp hold of if we take advantage of it. This is not a period of decline, as the media may suggest to you. This is a period of incredible opportunity and growth, but it is up to you. And Brian helps give you some of those tools to get there. And it's a phenomenal Substack. I think his community is over 12,000.
Love it.
Growing. So give him a look today. He's an amazing guy.
Awesome. I have checked it out when I saw your note come through. I was checking it out, and I'm this is awesome. So Brian, dude, I love the content you're making. I'm a Gen Xer too, so I really relate to the stuff you're making. I'm all about your content. And Brian, I'd love to have you on my show. No doubt about it. We'd love to have you on, talk about your Substack. And most importantly, take the old light that we handed off to Bradley, and then Bradley's going to hand it off to you so that we can celebrate somebody in your orbit. I got to tell you, Brad, this is one of my favorite segments on the show, celebrating others and paying community forward and just making this whole thing move forward, right? So Brian, we'd love to have you in. We'd love to give you the light on behalf of Brian so that we can turn it around into your orbit and celebrate somebody on the Community Corner as part of the Creator Spotlight on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. Be Driven comes in. Bradley, Bernard Artist comes in. New Self-Purpose, that's God's given answer to prayer for a greater purpose. I'm with you, brother. And Bernard also comes in. We'll be 49 of November. So very, very relevant. Absolutely. And Bernard also says, that's exactly why I'm going into beekeeping instead of construction. Awesome. Bradley Sherman, dude, I've enjoyed you on the show. I got to be honest with you, man. I could have dug into our conversation much further. I'm true. I had a whole fucking brain full of questions. I'm a curious Gen Xer. I could have talked to you for hours, but I had to keep it to our segment. I hope you enjoyed your time with me today as much as I had with you today.
Yeah, I did. Thanks so much.
Awesome. So we're going to walk you out, and then we're going to connect a little later today and catch up a little further. Okay, pal?
All right. Thanks, man.
Awesome. All right, Bradley, Jimmy, let's get Bradley out of here, and I'm gonna wrap the Community Corner segment up, Jimmy, before we bring in Nicole here. So Nicole, just actually be patient here for a few more minutes. We're gonna keep this segment. I want to wrap it up here with we got a couple of things just to get into here this morning because we had some awesome stuff here. What do divorce, disrespect, and disappearing young men have in common, guys? This is the hold on a second. I gotta get this going because I love this part. Yeah. Welcome to the Community Corner, where we're going to connect Substack and LinkedIn through live conversation. Let's be honest, most people scroll right past the best stuff online. But here in the Community Corner, we slow it down and we pay attention with some good tunes in our ears. Today's stories hit everything from personal reinvention to emotional leadership to the crisis-facing young men. Jimmy, let's get right into it, brother. Number one, Substack number one. He burned it down at 48, then he built it better. You ever feel like your time's up? That you missed your window? Well, Carl Dunn's story will punch that thought right in your mouth. At 48, Carl got divorced. What's shaking, Carl? I can relate. The guy lost everything. He thought his career was done. But now, he's a published, award-winning author, and in his own words, he's finally in love with eyes wide open. He calls it phoenixing yourself, rising from the ashes, not in your 20s, not even in your 30s, but when everyone else thinks it's over. So guys, what's your version of phoenixing? And are you putting it off because you think the window's closed? Gentlemen, I'm gonna give you something to consider today. If you're thinking about it, maybe today's the day to do it. Because you too can rise from those ashes. Whether you're 20, whether you're 30, whether you're 40, just like Carl did. And frankly, just like I did. All right, Jimmy, let's go back to Substack story number 2. The good old days are now. Justin Welsh, what's shaking, Justin? Justin asks, what if the good old days weren't behind us, but right now? We always romanticize the past, don't we? We just spend so much time romanticizing the past. A time when things were simple, a times when we were younger, when the path felt open, but we forget. Right now is going to become someone's good old days, probably our own. Justin shared a conversation with an older neighbor, and when Justin said he missed being 30, the man laughed and said, when I'm 95, I'm going to miss being 80. And oh, isn't that thought-provoking? The season we're in right now, the one we're grinding through, doubting, overanalyzing, might be the exact season we will long for one day. Think about it, you guys. So what if we pause today and asked ourselves, what's actually good about this moment? Why do I love this moment? Why am I into this moment? Even if it's fucking messy hard or unclear. Because the hard stuff today is often what we look on back with a smile tomorrow. So I invite you guys, pause, be in the moment. Don't strive for what tomorrow might come. Strive for what today possibly already is. Tomorrow might actually be happening today. Guys, think about it. All right, staying in Substack, the science of familiar. Yeah. You ever wonder why we stick with the same song, the same cereal, the same routine, the same toilet paper, even when there might be something better? Jimmy added that one in there. Giacomo Falcone. Oh yeah, there's some good words here, Keith, with the Giacomo Falcone dug into this with a concept called the mirror exposure effect. The more we see or hear something, the more we like it. That's why you got to tune into the show every single day, 8 o'clock Eastern time. Not because it's better. No, but this show is better. But because it's familiar. My familiar voice, the familiar sounds of Johnny and Keith and Marty. It turns out our brains associate the familiar with safety. And if you've ever wondered why we avoid change even when we know we need, this is why. Growth, you guys, you know this, but I'm going to tell it to you right now. Growth requires discomfort. So the very thing you're trying to escape might be the gateway to the thing you want. Nation, I invite you to think about this. If you're stuck in a loop, playing the same internal soundtrack, maybe it's time to get curious. Because comfort might feel good, but it won't get you where you're trying to go. No, baby, not going to get you where you're trying to go. Gwen Wilcox over on LinkedIn once had a direct report who's totally out of line. Rude, passive, aggressive, even called her mother in a team meeting. But instead of firing back, Gwen stayed calm. Eventually, she called him into her office, listed his behavior, and told him 6 of his peers didn't like how he treated her. Then she asked, whose face are you projecting onto me that wounded you? Whew, imagine that conversation, Jimmy. Imagine that conversation. It turns out he'd been burned by a former female boss and never got over it. She gave him a plan. 2 months later, he came back a different man. Sometimes, guys, a bad attitude. Sometimes that bad attitude isn't difference or defiance. It could be unresolved pain, and leadership, you right now, is knowing when to correct it and when to ask the question, when to be curious that makes someone look in the mirror. Think about it, you guys. Put yourself into the perspective, not the perception of the moment, because your perception is different from the other person's perception. I invite you to consider the perspective of the situation instead of your perception of what's happening. There's a difference. There's a difference. LinkedIn story number 2, only 2 failures. Dennis Berry dropped a post where he said, there are only 2 true failures in life, never starting and quitting too soon. Let's hang on that one, guys. Everything else, mistakes, detours, lessons. That's just the path. The fear of failure keeps most men stuck. That's what happens. We stall before the first step. We search for someday. We search for one day. We stall before the first step, but the truth is you don't fail by trying. You fail by not trying. You heard me say it before, or by walking away too early. Right before it gets good, you shut down your YouTube channel. You stop posting on Substack. You shut down the blog. You shut down your podcast. The bottom line, your first shot's not going to be your first. It's not going to be your best, I mean. You're going to fumble. You're going to fumble many times. You're probably going to look dumb along the way. But as they say, the only way out is through. And I guarantee you, I fucking guarantee you, you're going to come out better and stronger anyways. So let's get after it. It's the only choice, isn't it? And then closing up our conversation in the community corner here this morning is Ethan Getchell posted something heavy but necessary. He said young men are disappearing emotionally. They're not saying I'm not okay. They're not raising their hands. They're sinking into gaming, isolation, anger, silence. And the data backs it up. Suicide is one of the leading causes of death for teen boys. The problem? We keep waiting for them to come to us. But the frank reality, guys, is they won't. They don't. We need to go to them. This isn't just blame, you guys. It's about building bridges. And Ethan's question to the community is the one we all need to sit with. Who were you missing when you were 15? And are you being that person right now? If we want to change the trajectory for the next generation of men and women, guys, we can't just fucking post about it and talk about it. We got to show up for them daily, organically, intentionally, with curiosity. Oh, man. All right, that was today's Community Corner. If any of these stories stood out to you, we want to know about it. Drop your thoughts in the comments. And guys, if you want to be featured, I invite you to follow Mornings in the Lab on LinkedIn and Substack and tag us in your next post. And Melissa, myself, or Jimmy, we find you in the comments. We find you tagged. We're going to pull it up and we're going to bring you onto the show and celebrate you as part of this segment. All right, Jimmy, I got this one up here, buddy. I'm going to get up here. Nicole, I'm bringing you up here in a minute there, kid. Yeah, I just called you kid. Absolutely. I call everybody kid. Hey, this guy, he built the life most people work. Yep, he sure did. This guy built the life that most people work decades for. Successful career, freedom, a new chapter overseas, and yet this guy was drowning. He was absolutely drowning. You know what he did, Jimmy? He drank to escape the emptiness. He tried new jobs. He tried a new country. Nothing worked. Nope, nothing worked. Until one day he shaved his head. Yeah, after talking to Britney Spears. And entered a monastery. What? Dude! No phone, no distractions, just silence. And the thoughts of the bald Britney Spears. And the decision to, Jimmy, you got to leave that in the cut, man. You got to leave that part in there. We got to keep the humor in there. And the decision to rebuild his life from the inside out. But here's the twist. He didn't stay there. He came back and to retreat from the world, but to teach people how to live fully in it. Now, he helps high performers find peace without leaving the game. He retreats. No fluff, no guru act, just raw experience and real tools for clarity. Before the template, this guy was a business owner, a marketer, a survivor of war. After the temple, he's something else, a man who's made peace, his name, his edge. Introducing this morning, Mornings in the Lab with Keith and Friends. He's looking for the buttons. We're going to introduce you to Nick Hashemi, with Shaken Nick, ex-Buddhist monk, writer, speaker, founder of the Mindful Living Revolution. He's showing professionals how to win from the inside out without quitting their career or hiding from ambition. Guys, if you've ever hit a wall of success and still felt stuck, I invite you to tune into Mornings in the Lab. Oh, that's not the script. Nick's the kind of voice you won't want to miss. Guys, hang out with Nick. Go check out Nick over on LinkedIn. Nick Hashemi is the man, the writer, the speaker, the founder of the Mindful Living Revolution. And he's showing professionals how to win from the inside out without quitting career or hiding from ambition. Nick, here's how it works, brother. We'd love to have you on the show. We're celebrating you today as part of our Creator Spotlight. And as a result, we'd love to have you in the lab to celebrate somebody in your orbit on the next Community Corner, Creator Spotlight. Morning to the Lab with Keith and Friends. All right, Jimmy, I hope my friend Nicole is still there. I've kept her waiting for a long time in the green room. It's been one of those days today where just conversations keep going. I still see her sitting there. That's good. She's patiently waiting for Uncle Keith. All right, Jimmy, without further ado, let's bring her in. Bring in my friend, my original co-host, the OG herself. With Shaken NB, with Shaken Nicole Bernard.
Good morning. I don't know if you saw that I put in the chat, though. I do have to be off in like a few minutes because I got to get kids ready for school, though. So
I figured you did. So I'm sorry we're running a little bit late here today.
No. Okay. Do you want me to come back tomorrow, or do you just tell me know what you think?
Yeah. How much time do you got right now?
Like 5 minutes.
You got 5 minutes. Okay, cool. So let's do a quick few minutes on this one here quickly, okay? And then I'll do a better job getting after it next week. So guys, business and branding segment with Keith and Nicole. We're gonna have a few things quickly for you guys here right now. So Nicole, I'm gonna pull one of them up here. TikTok making waves with groundbreaking move into mental health, rolling out some guided meditation features targeting late night scrolling. Commenting on this, Nicole Bernard.
It's pretty neat. So like, yeah, I dug into it a little bit further, and they actually have a default at like 10 p.m. for teenagers. So it kind of pops up and gives them a little bit of like guidance, like, hey, maybe like stop scrolling, and if they can go around it, it'll come back to them. And it just, again, kind of gives them, a nudge to kind of, maybe wrap it up for the day, listen to this. And I guess in all the studies that they've been doing with kids,
Yeah,
they're sleeping better, they're happier. So I thought it was really cool that they're even, because obviously they're all these kids and people are on TikTok all the time, but now that they're starting to put that in there, I think that's awesome.
What's our takeaway on that one, Nicole? What's our takeaway as a parent or even as a business person? That TikTok is not always evil? Is that maybe the takeaway?
Yeah, I don't know. There's such a slippery slope. And, being in marketing, my kids don't actually have social media or even cell phones now, and we're the very unpopular parents for that. But I do think that, not that it's evil, but I think they're so young to get involved with things like this.
Yes.
But, again, people are letting their kids do it so that there is something like this now. I think that's fantastic. So
and because we're short time, and I apologize, but I think this one's a great piece for a takeaway for our audience as well. But Nicole, I love this one because this is tangible. Pinterest Q. This one surprised me. You dropped this for me yesterday. I was like, holy fuck, really? Pinterest Q1 results are showing incredible trends, especially around Gen Z engagement. Nicole, it hit 570 million monthly active users, a 10% jump year over year. Talk to our audience as a marketer. What's the story behind the story about Pinterest, Nicole Bernard?
Yeah. So they struggled for a while. Not struggle. They've always been, up in the top, whatever, but they kind of plateaued for a while, but all these Gen Z users grew up a little bit, probably like more on Snapchat and Instagram, things like that. And as they're getting older, they're, kind of heading over to Pinterest, which is its own search engine in its own right, and so it's such a visual, tool. So I guess, I was surprised as well, but then I'm also not, because, they've also, added in some AI, so your ads can be a little more targeted. But no, I was shocked too. I was like, damn, that's a lot of monthly users. And I think a lot of people, especially too us as millennials and Gen X and all that, we kind of forget about Pinterest. But dude, it's been its own search engine for years. So
that to me is what I took most out of that article, is that if in your marketing mix, don't ignore Pinterest, because it's still growing, and it actually seems like it's rapidly growing. And Nicole, last one is what you also threw in here is Google's AI overviews. If you're doing anything in digital marketing or SEO, you're going to want to pay attention to Google AI overviews. Nicole, in a minute or less, wrap up this comment on Google AI overviews and how it's impacting marketing for our audience.
Oh yeah. It's crazy because, all the work we've done SEO wise over the years is kind of being like, pushed to the side, but I think it'll come back. And even those traditional SEO strategies are still helpful in this, but this was the first study that they've done on how people kind of like the user experience with generative AI, and they did different ages, different demographics, and it was really interesting. So of course we all know our click-through rates are just, falling through the floor. People are not, all the work we did to get them to click to go to a website now is not as influential as it used to be. So that was that's the first one, significant drop. So that 0-click optimization, people are going to want to start thinking about, to get found in those AI answers, because they still do have links, but after they give their little summary. And then it was interesting too, when the AI options were put, people stopped scrolling. So, but because they gave them different tasks to do, so sometimes AI didn't come up in the search results, and so they would keep scrolling looking for their answer. But if there is AI, then they stop scrolling. And then they also they noticed younger users would just take that AI answer, and that was all they needed. Older people would still do their research. They would kind of open another window and Google it to cross check it or reference it. So that was interesting too. So
almost like not trusting the original result.
Exactly. Whereas the younger ones did, and they were like, okay, that AI says it, and that's fine. And so it's pretty interesting.
This is a topic I think we as marketers are going to want to stay on top of, aren't we, Nicole? Like this one here
Yes.
particularly, right? And then last one before that you go, and I'm really glad you put this one on here as well. For the first time in NFL history, a regular season game will be streamed exclusively and for free live on YouTube. So guys, you know, we do live content here. And when Keith and Nicole kicked this whole thing off over a year ago, it was a live show. The future's live, you guys, because that's where the big advertising dollars are. Live interactive engagement. Nicole, comment on this before you got to get those kids rolling.
Yeah, no, I just thought it was neat. I mean, it's showing
Yes.
us, you know, YouTube getting into, you know, of course, it's always been, you know, people starting their shows and things like that,
Yes.
and, you know, social media to an extent, and also search engine. But now it's like entering this whole other arena with the NFL, and I thought it was really neat, and I think it's really cool too that, you know, they're making it accessible to everybody. They're, you know, obviously they're going to make a huge deal of like marketing it and everything. So I think it's super strategic on YouTube's part.
I love it because so for me, when I saw this, and it just made me smile because it continues to perpetuate my belief on what I'm building here, which is it's live conversation, right? And it's not for everyone. Not everybody knows how to do it. You're good at it. I think I'm pretty good at it. And, you know, we do it every single day here. So when the platforms wake up one day, like YouTube and Netflix and Prime going, we need live shows. Oh, hello, Uncle Keith's over here. So Nicole, I know
maybe you could commentate the game on YouTube one day. Like, how
there
fun
you
would
go,
that
there you
be?
go. So listen, I owe an apology. My morning got away from me.
Oh,
Next week we'll be better at it. I think we did a pretty good job breaking this into the 5.
Yeah,
I love
think so
the
too.
topics. Please,
It's like a lightning round.
please keep them coming. Great topics, great discussion. I want to keep talking Google AI overview because that's a big one for a lot of folks and marketers.
It
man.
is, yeah. Maybe, and again, like I said, that's the first study, so I'm sure more information will come out. So I'll do a little more digging too. Maybe we can dig into that a little bit deeper next week or something.
I like that. I like that a lot. Awesome. I appreciate you so much. Go take care of those kids.
Yeah.
And again, I'm sorry we're running a little late today. Okay.
No worries. Yeah, no, it happens. Awesome. Thank you. Have a good day.
All right, you too. All right, Jimmy, let's get Nicole out of here. And I'm going to do a little bit of a quick recap and see who's all in the comments here. Mike McQuillan, Pinterest has the potential to be very best. I agree with you, Mike. It's funny. I think Pinterest was one of those, what do you call it? The poor cousin. It's kind of just been out there, and you know, it's maybe is it the name? Is that what it is? Pinterest? I don't know. Just yeah. Amy Reiner, great guest. Brian Clark was awesome, dude. I could have talked to the guy for an hour. Because I'm a curious motherfucker. I'm demographics make me curious. Shifts make me all that. I'm just curious about all that. My curiosity just drives another question. So Amy and Matthew, I'm with you, man. Brian Clark was a fucking stud, man. He was great. He's doing some great stuff. I invite you guys to go check out Bradley Sherman. He's got a podcast coming up. He's actually launched his first podcast, like a demographic shift. So I invite you guys to check that out. And hey, if you haven't connected with Matthew Roof over on LinkedIn, I invite you to do that as well. The guy's putting out uncommon kindness stuff. So if you ever need a reason to be kind, go talk to Matthew Roof. All right, by the way, Matt and I are working together. So, you know, you can talk to Matt, you talk to Keith. We're going to spew kindness all over the planet. 100%. All right, Matthew comes in with a closing comment. Jimmy, we're going to let Matt have the last word here. Roofy, you're going to get the last word, brother. Gen X is the trust but verify generation. Because we straddled analog and digital. AI points us in the right direction, but we seek to verify it. It has to do with trust. Great stuff. And you know what, Roofy? You know what we're doing every single day here, brother? We're building trust every single day because you and I, we grew up with trust by looking into the TV set. We grew up with trust by finding Tom Brokaw at 6 o'clock on NBC News. We grew up with trust by turning on our regular channels and seeing the talking head delivering us news that we can believe in, delivering us conversations that we can be a part of. And that's what we do every single day here, helping create momentum, helping to get your guys' day started on Mornings in the Lab with Keith and friends, building trust on a daily basis with myself, Jon Andersen, C. Marty Fit, AJ Zanglin, Holroyd. Yeah, I'm with you, man. I never got into it either. But I'll tell you, it's on my strategy as I'm building the company here. Just haven't made it to that lever yet. Adam, you've been here since the first minute and you're here to the last, brother. I so much appreciate you. I do. Roofy, I look forward to chatting with you later today. Mike McQuillan, Lady Drew, always hanging out with us. Joshua, a whole bunch of you guys. You guys are all awesome. My bladder's calling. Yeah, it's over there. Have a good one, you guys. We'll see you back here tomorrow. Quickly, though, before we go, tomorrow we are talking about... we are going to get into tomorrow. I took a solo trip. Oh, yeah, baby. Guys, I went on a solo trip a number of years ago all by myself. I want to talk about it. It changed me. And I'm wondering, have you been on a solo trip yourself? Did it change you? What was that all about? We're talking about it tomorrow, 8 o'clock Eastern time. On Mornings Lab with Keith and friends. Oh, and we got a couple guests, I think, tomorrow if they show up. We'll see you guys. Jimmy, let's get out of here, pal. See you, Adam.